what happened under that tent unless they don't want to see it and they don't want to know, because you have to. There is a cause and effect. What made Karmelo Anthony jump out of that tent? We saw multiple bodies pushed from the front to the back and to the side. And like I said, I'm going to say it again. Wouldn't it be ironic that Hunter Metcalf and Austin Metcalf had sandwiched Karmelo Anthony between themselves? Austin pushes Karmelo into Hunter. Hunter, once he said this, I didn't see the knife. That means that if you didn't see the knife, that means that Karmelo Anthony's back was to you. And when you pushed him towards your brother, because y'all really thought that y'all was about to double team that young man out in them stands, when you pushed your brother. If you was the one that pushed him into Austin, it was your push and your power and your weight that pushed Karmelo Anthony into your brother with that utility tool. All right, Vestas. Hey, Vestas, that is a flashback from weeks ago. We're talking about that was a flashback from weeks ago. Not knowing 99.9%, okay, I'll say 97% of everything that I said in that snippet, we're talking about weeks ago. Basically was confirmed by Mike Howard's closing statements. We didn't even need the full transcript. His closing statement dropped nuggets. And then when we read the prosecution closing statements last night, it even answered more of the questions that we had. So if I gave Mike Howard closing statements, I'm going to say a 7.5. I'm going to give the prosecution, even though he tried it and he tried to twist the narratives and put all the blame on Karmelo Anthony, I'm going to give the prosecution an 8.9 rating because he answered a lot of our questions without even knowing that he did. When he was trying to spin it and make it seem that Karmelo Anthony, he shouldn't have used deadly force with non-deadly force actions. Every time he was trying to explain himself, he actually was explaining that Karmelo Anthony was acting in self-defense. And I'm going to stand by what I said last night. For 12 jurors to disobey, disobey what the prosecution said. Oh yeah. I'm gonna give Bill Whiskey some definitely credit tonight, because Bill Whiskey said everybody in the jury was charged with one thing: be a reasonable person, be diligent, be prudent, be an ordinary person, and put yourself in Karmelo Anthony's shoes. And once again, I proved last night, and the prosecution proved last night, that the jury was incompetent because they didn't follow instructions. Out of 8 men and 4 women, whatever the dynamics was, 12 grown people in Collins County did not follow instructions. Not one person out of that whole entire jury followed the prosecution's instructions, because if one did, Karmelo Anthony would not have been found guilty. He probably would have had to go through a new trial, or the trial would have been dismissed, the charges been dismissed, or it would have been another case, it would have been another trial, a hung jury, aka. But not one person did what the prosecution did, because if they did, Karmelo Anthony, they would have been able to see how Karmelo Anthony was feeling under that tent, since the prosecution and the judge and Mike Howard at that time, they agreed upon, we're gonna try this case clean. We just gonna keep it under the tent. Well, if you was gonna keep it directly under the tent, why nobody did not follow the prosecution's instructions and put themselves in Karmelo Anthony's shoes on August the 2nd, 2025. And let me go ahead and tell you this right here. This time, next week, yes, this time next week, we would be in the afternoon of Karmelo Anthony's first motion. His defense would have moved forward with the first motion, which was to remove John Roach. And next Wednesday, when I have this live at this particular time, and it won't be this late because it's going to be hot. It won't be this late. And please put your notifications on for next week, because for the motion to recuse John Roach, they say at max is going to be a half a day. So that means by 4 or 5 o'clock, oh, the YouTube streets is going to be hot. And if it's not going to be hot, I'm still going to be here screaming, free Karmelo Anthony, free Karmelo Anthony, free Karmelo Anthony. Today is day 64. In 64 days, we've been meeting here day after day or every day screaming, free Karmelo Anthony, free Karmelo Anthony. Next Wednesday this time, we will say, okay, John Roach has been removed. All the pieces is about to start falling behind the scenes. Who is the new judge? That's what we're going to be saying next week this time. Who is the new judge? And then 8 days from now, which is next Thursday, ooh, I hope they have a live screen, but if they don't, I totally understand. Will be the motion to move forward for a new trial, Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Sincere Anthony. Ooh, and y'all, just know you would have heard it first here. I would not be surprised if Karmelo Anthony is released with conditions next Thursday. If not next Thursday, the judge may want to say, hey, I'm going to delay my decision, my ruling until the next day, into the next 24 hours. And that means that we would get the decision on August the 21st, which is the anniversary of Nat Turner's U.S., the biggest slave rebellion in U.S. history. I'm not going to keep you long tonight. I just want to go ahead and give you that recap of the last 2 nights. Yes, Mike Howard, I give him a 7.5 for his closing arguments. But the prosecution actually did more damage to himself and his case. If you really sit back and look at it and have even an objective mind, the prosecution actually helped Karmelo Anthony in his closing statements, especially when he said, what he said, the motive of Karmelo Anthony is not important. When he said that, and then when the prosecution said they just pieced the story together. Now, y'all know last night it went crazy in the chats when the prosecution in his closing statement says the witnesses, they're nice. They come from good family. They just mistaken. They just piece the story together. So basically he even said this now. He even said wherever their attention was that particular day, they just pieced the story together. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you already know why we're here tonight. We're here tonight to go over Collins County Medical Examiner Elizabeth Ventura's portion. Whatever they're going to give us in these partial trial transcripts, I'm here to read it. And just like in the last 2 lives, I did not pre-read, I didn't proofread. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you organic. But let me go ahead and take care of the algorithm, because it's about to get hot here. Next week, it's about to get hot. Let me go ahead and take care of the algorithm. Let me go ahead and talk to the algorithm real quick. If you know, you know. And happy birthday to somebody very special on August the 12th. Happy birthday, Mr. Leo. Happy birthday. You know who you are. Happy birthday. August the 12th. And to all of my other Vestas that have had birthdays in the past, having a birthday today on this special day, and may have a birthday tomorrow or next week or the end of this month, happy birthday. And also, we're going to say rest in peace, Nolan. Nolan Wells, if Nolan Wells was still among the living, exactly on August the 19th, next Wednesday, he would be 19 years old on August the 19th of 2026. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells. All right, y'all. So let me take care of the algorithm. Today, we're here to talk about Karmelo Anthony's self-defense case, day 64. We're going to go over Dr. Ventura's, Elizabeth Ventura's medical examination and medical examiner testimony under oath. The medical evidence takes center stage. Now, we already know that she didn't bring the toxicology report to trial. She didn't bring the autopsy report to trial. And I got that on the white form, that white sheet. I may show that first. Hold on. Tonight, we're going to continue our deep dive into the Karmelo Anthony self-defense case by examining the testimony of Dr. Ventura, the medical examiner, given under oath during the trial. What did the medical examiner actually testify to? You know, we've been wanting to hear this. You know, we've been wanting to know this. What conclusions were based on the autopsy findings? And how should that testimony be considered along with the prosecution theory? And let's talk about the prosecution brought up the impalement theory that the medical examiner brought up. I said, what? Y'all, why did the medical examiner also speak on the impalement theory? That's what I'm looking for tonight. I want to read that tonight, if it's in there. And how should the testimony be considered along with the prosecution theory, the defense self-defense argument, witness testimony, and the other evidence presented to the jury? Y'all, we finna have this thing threefold. We had Mike Howard's defense closing arguments. We got the prosecution closing statements, and then we finna look at the medical examiner, the witnesses. Yeah, we got bits and pieces of the witness testimony. We already know that all of that is biased, but hey, I'm gonna let for the new court and jury to decide, because they will be taking a stand again in that new trial. Oh, I know y'all sniffing. I saw y'all sniffing in the comments. Oh, go ahead and show your face. Go ahead and show your face in the comments, but I could tell who you are. Now, let's go ahead and do this right here. Before I do that, do y'all remember this right here? Do y'all remember this thumbnail right here? This is one of the thumbnails that I talked about, the CSI part of the criminal case, right? But I want to go ahead and show y'all something. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and do a flashback. Hold on. Hey, to all of when I first started talking about Karmelo Anthony, they basically told me to shut up and just talk about sports. Well, I got one question now. How do you like me now? How do you like me now on day 64? I told you the Black community was going to stick with this. Oh, they shocked y'all. You mean to tell me that the Black community is still standing strong for all of these young men lives and young girl lives that has been taken by white society who was being deemed the suspect? Yes, the Black community, we're still wide and strong. Oh, how do you like us now? How do you like us now, America? We standing strong. Hold on, it was something else. Oh, it was something else. Oh yeah, I'm talking about it both, justice and sports. Hold on, I want to show y'all this here. Oh, the corruption. Ooh, once John Roach is removed next week. Oh, AG Ken Paxton. Oh, U.S. Congressman Pat Fallon. What you gonna do? Oh, what you gonna do? I ain't gonna sing Bad Boys, but y'all know where I'm going. Look at this. I even said at a minimal, reasonable doubt. I said this at a minimum. It should have been reasonable doubt even before reading the closing statements, the closing arguments for the defense and the prosecution. At a minimum, it should have been reasonable doubt. Hold on. The corruption. Hold on, I'm trying to get somewhere. Hold on. Look, I still was screaming reasonable doubt, self-defense. Hold on. I want to get to y'all. I want to show you this right here. That's welcome Karmelo Anthony Dream Team Coalition legal defense. Hold on. I want to get you somewhere. One second. This is the police record. Hold on. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember this? How we used to break it down. Do y'all remember this? When we went over the size comparisons and going back to, believe it or not, Mr. Wilkie's, the prosecution's closing argument, he called Karmelo Anthony small and tiny. And he called Austin big, muscular. The only acronym that he was missing out was powerful. That went up and shoved Karmelo Anthony. Look at this, clean. Now, the reason why I'm going over this because we're going to talk about the medical examiner's testimony on the oath. But look at this clean jacket. Look at this clean hoodie. Essentials, fear of God. Look at this. This is what they saying. This is what the prosecution said was the weapon, right? They said this is the weapon, right? I want to show you this again. This was the weapon that they said they wanted us to believe that Karmelo Anthony had. But guess what? They did not. They all agreed to not introduce it into trial. Why not? If it was Karmelo Anthony, I'm going to say again, if it was Karmelo Anthony, why not introduce it into trial as an exhibit? I'll let you form your own opinions. See, look at this. Now, being foul, Mr. Anthony on the Breakfast Club did say that Karmelo Anthony had something. He didn't say it was a knife. He didn't say it was this. He didn't say it was this. But Mike Howard, he said it in his closing arguments, it was a Leatherman. Now, does this look like a Leatherman? Officer Cortez, Officer Riley, they both said that it had something like with a corkscrew driver, a flashlight. Where's the flashlight on this, y'all? Am I missing it? If I'm missing it, tell me I'm missing it, but I don't see a flashlight. And we already know that Mike Howard, he did a dry snitch, said it was 2 wounds. It was 2 wounds on Austin Metcalf's body. Hold on. Listen, look. So look at all of the DNA inside of Austin Metcalf's, I'm going to say jacket. But not a speck of blood on Karmelo Anthony's shoes, pants, hands, sleeves, hoodies, front of the hoodie, back of the hoodie, the shoulders of the hoodie. Karmelo Anthony was so swift that he got away without no DNA on him. Okay. Now look at this white picture. Now this right here, do you see this right here? I hope you see today. This actually came from the medical examiner's office. This was the only thing that I found in Collins County at photos of exhibits. We're gonna say back here in early June, late June. Okay, late June. Do y'all see the angle of that laceration wound? Mike Howard said, even the medical examiner said it was in an awkward position. It was not in an intended S wound. But we finna go over that today. I'm just refreshing everything for you tonight. Now, what else? Now, for everybody that always like to say, oh, it doesn't matter about the size. It doesn't matter about the size. I had somebody arguing in my comments about 2 days ago. Yeah, I'm still arguing in the comments about some of the stupidest stuff. Karmelo Anthony, at 130, he at least would have been a super welterweight. Let's say 160, since they want to argue me about 160, a middleweight. So what is that against somebody who is a heavyweight? They don't even allow that in boxing. And you mean to tell me they want us to believe that the pressure and the power that Austin Metcalf delivered in, let's say, a push to Karmelo Anthony did not do nothing to him, that Karmelo Anthony was not warranted to fear for his life when somebody over him was almost standing an extra 80 to 100 pounds, depending on what Karmelo Anthony weighed in at that time. Well, Tony Talk vested up. Where did you get the 130 from? From the arrest record. What Tony Talks vested up, where did you get the 160 from? From Max Preps. Now, I said, even if Karmelo Anthony weighed 160 on Max Prep during football season, a lot of athletes, they drop weight to run track. A lot of people didn't even know that Karmelo Anthony, he was the captain of 2 teams. A lot of athletes, they drop weight to run track. So, hey, Either which way you want to look at it, 130 or 160. Karmelo Anthony was still no match for Austin Metcalf, who was a heavyweight times two. Because the prosecution said double that. That means that Austin and Hunter was confronting Karmelo Anthony. He just didn't say it in those words. If you just look at what the prosecution said, the prosecution told so many jewels. That's why I gave him an 8.9. Let's keep going. Is that what I want to get? Oh, and if you haven't seen what was exactly in Karmelo Anthony book bag that he had on his persons, when the prosecution want us to believe that all of this was premeditated, let me show you what this premeditated, quote unquote, criminal had in his book bag, had on his persons, had in his possession when he went. Because the prosecution said no matter what, he was going to come out on top. Let me show you what this criminal had in his book bag. Y'all ready for this? He had his own personal comb. He had some lotion. He had some snacks. He had a phone charger. He had a key fob, and he had some word scrabbles. And if you look at the bottom, he had some word definitions. Hold on, what's that? State Exhibit 63. This was all in Karmelo Anthony's backpack. Let's see. If you want to see some more, once again, this is what Karmelo Anthony also had in his backpack. He had more snacks. Who is taking snacks to a premeditated M-word event? Okay. He also had, it seemed like he had some type of head covering, a scarf or whatever. His cross with his DNA on it. Some pins with his fingerprints, an earring, and a HEB receipt where he worked at. Karmelo Anthony worked 2 jobs. And I'm pretty sure that receipt has his fingernail prints on it, got a credit card number on there. And if it doesn't have a credit card number, it definitely has his fingerprints. This is what a criminal took to a track meet with premeditated thoughts of unaliving Austin Metcalf. Do y'all see this right here? Let me see what else I got in this slide deck. If you can't see it, that's his weight over there, 130. Is that it? That's it. Now, let's go ahead and read. Let's go ahead and do this right here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's go ahead and read what Miss Ventura said in her testimony under oath, y'all. I have not proofread it. I'm reading it with you. So when I'm surprised, this is legit. I like reading this with you because I want all of us to have the same reactions. Once again, this is coming from volume 6. Here we go. All right, Vestas. All right, let's blow it up. So we all can see what it says. Here we go. Mr. Wilkie, please call your next witness, please. Mr. Wilkie, the state will call Dr. Elizabeth Ventura. Ma'am, if you will come over here towards the witness stand, before you sit down, turn to me and raise your right hand. Witness is sworn in the court. All right, put your hand down to be seated. Mr. Wilkie says, thank you, Your Honor. No, it is not on. Here she go again, Jane Duggar. I don't know what that means. Okay. Got me now? I think so. Hear me now? Oh, Lord, they're doing audio checks. I'm sorry, y'all. They're doing audio checks. Hear me now? Now, yes, sir. Elizabeth Ventura has been duly sworn in, testified as following. Direct examination. All right. Good morning, doctor. Or good afternoon, doctor. How are you? Good. Sorry. It is a Saturday and I'm really confused. So happy Saturday. Y'all, this is Jane Duggar. Okay, this is Jane Duggar. Doctor, could you turn to the members of the jury and introduce yourself? Hey, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Ventura. I am the chief medical examiner for Collins County. Okay. As the chief medical examiner for of our county, do you have to be a medical doctor? She says, yes. Good to know. What is a medical examiner? A medical examiner, my main duty as a medical examiner is to determine the cause and the manner of death of an individual when they pass away. Okay? So when we have a violent D in the county, you and the doctors over at your office are likely to perform the autopsies. Is that correct? She says yes. And I believe you have two doctors in your office, yourself and Dr. Gwen. Correct. And do y'all each double check each other's work? She says yes. Could you tell the members of the jury the education and job experience you have that allows you to hold your position? She says yes. I have a Bachelor of Science from UT Arlington. After I got my bachelor's, I then went to the medical school for 4 years at the University Health Science Center in San Antonio. In medical school, I desired to pursue pathology. I did a 4-year residency training program at Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas. During my pathology training, I decided to do a subspecialty in forensics pathology. Oh, you know that I've been touching that weeks ago. It all goes down and back to the forensics of a crime, back to the forensics of a crime. Oh my God, I hope y'all remember that. Let's keep going. Okay, let's keep going. I did 1 year of forensics fellowship training at Swift's, which is Southern Institute for Forensic Science. Let me tell you one thing, Vestas, pause. If you have any young person or any young person or somebody that's looking for a career, forensic science, either in media and actual biological forensic science is the way to go. Hold on. I'm a board certified in anatomy and clinical pathology by American Boards of Pathology, as well as forensics pathology. I'm getting excited, y'all. I'm getting excited. After I did my 1-year training at Swift's, I then stayed on as a medical examiner for approximately 12 years. And after that, I became the chief medical examiner for Collins County, and I've been there for almost 2 years now. Okay. So 2 years. She only been in Collins County chief medical examiner only for 2 years. Let's keep going. And based on that, is it fair to say that you have done thousands of autopsies? Well, thousands? Okay. Yes, I have testified hundreds of times. Let me back up. And based on that, is it fair to say that you have done thousands of autopsies? Her answer is yes. Have you testified hundreds of times? Her answer is yes. Okay. Can you give an idea to the member of the jury what an autopsy is? We're finna get into it good. Yes. When a person passes away, depending on the circumstances, their D may be blank, fall under the jurisdiction of the medical examiner. In this case, if it does, the death will be reported to our office. One of our death investigators would take the call and either blank. If they passed away at the scene, we'll report to the scene, or if the person was taken to the hospital or the scene. If the person was taken to the hospital or passed away at the hospital, would take the report from the medical personnel at the hospital. We will give this unique number to the individual that passes away, and that number will follow that person when they come to the morgue through the whole entire process. Any reports, any pictures, any evidence collected would have this unique identification number associated with it. Let's pause. This goes for all cases. This goes for all cases. Wink, 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 wink. Let's see if she's gonna talk about some organs, because y'all know where I'm about to go. But let's see if she even says anything about some organs. Wink, wink. Let's keep going. But not in this case. In the other case, the body will come to the morgue. We will perform an external examination where we look over the body, document any property received, any physical characteristics, any injuries to the external portion of the body, any evidence of natural disease, as well as external portion of the body. Then we'll proceed with an internal examination, and we will take out most of the internal organs, including the brain. I promise you, I ain't read this before, but I know what's supposed to happen. Do an examination of those organs by sectioning them, looking for any sign of trauma to the body or signs of natural disease. So an extra examination followed by an internal examination in order for me to have a cause and a manner of death. Okay, this is a question. And I believe you mentioned that, but as part of this autopsy process, you prepare a diagram. You take photos and ultimately prepare a written report or an autopsy protocol. Is that correct? And she says, yes. And it depends on the circumstances. When it comes to homicide, in this case, this was suspected homicide. More procedures may be done to the body. We may take x-rays, collect evidence, take more specimens for submission for analysis later. But in this case, not Mr. Wilski, he interrupted her. In the middle of her statement, he interrupted her. May I approach as may become necessary? The court said, yes, sir. Hold on, what? No, whoa. Did y'all, did you see what he did right here? Did y'all see what he did right here? She was in the middle of giving her expert testimony. Matter of fact, this is the only expert that I think they did bring in here was the medical examiner, because by default, I guess you have to bring her in here to show proof of a homicide. But do you see where she was about to go into this part of the sentence? And then all of a sudden he said, may I approach as may become necessary? And look at this. And then he changes lanes. Doctor, next question, doctor. Instead of letting her go ahead and finish your statements, I'm sorry, go ahead and finish your statement. He said, doctor, you mentioned this just a few seconds ago, but every person that comes in or everybody that comes in is assigned a unique forensics number. Is that correct? Prosecutor, I saw what you just done there. Okay, let me keep going. She made it clear that everything, all the evidence, everything that's assigned to the person that is deceased get the same unique forensics number. Okay, let's see what she says. She says yes. And what does that number signify? Does it signify a year and a number of autopsy? This don't even matter. Regarding the numbers, what does that number signify? Does it signify a year and a number of autopsy sequentially throughout the year? Why would he ask her that? We don't care how many autopsies she did before Austin Metcalf. Okay. He tried to distract her, which I think he did, but let's see here. Yes. Let me show you what's been admitted for record only as state exhibit number 79, and ask you to look at that and ask you if the unique number that you have told the jury is. So this number right here is assigned to any and everything related to Austin Metcalf, external and internal body. It's 25-01590. Then she says, yes, this is the unique number identification number that was associated with the autopsy. Okay, thank you for that information. Okay, and we are here today about the death of Austin Metcalf and that number associated with Austin, right? She says yes. Okay, well, he definitely have distracted her and going to a different direction. Question next, let me show you two documents. The first being marked with the identification as state exhibit number 89, and ask you to look at it and see if it is your report prepared in the state of Austin Metcalf. She said, yes, this is a copy of the autopsy report. Okay, hold on. Your Honor, for at this time, I'm going to offer states 89 for record only. Okay, hold on. It is omitted for record purposes. Let's see what's going on. Next, let me show you state exhibit number 90. It is a copy of the diagram. Oh, is that what I showed? Diagram you mentioned earlier that was prepared in this case involving the homicide of Austin Metcalf. Oh, yes. Okay. Those are your notes that are on the document. Yes. Your Honor, at this time, we will offer state 90 for all states, 90 for all purposes. No objection. That was Mr. Shook. No objection. So I got to remember 89 and 90. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the Collins County folder. I'm going to download the articles again, and let's see if 89 and 90 is in there. I want to see. I know y'all want to see. Hold on. The court, it is permitted. Permissions to publish this on the Elmore in a few minutes, Your Honor. The court says yes. Now, I got an issue with this. Oh, I got an issue with this transcript. Because why everybody that was in the courthouse in those 27 seats said that the autopsy report was not submitted, and they said that the toxicology report was not submitted. So are they cleaning up their transcripts? Well, let's see. I may need to go back and watch some old podcasters. It was only 5 days, right? 4 to 5 days. I need to go back and watch some old podcasters that actually sat inside of the courtroom on those days, because many people said that Collins County, the medical examiner did not even, she referred to toxicology and referred to autopsy, but it was not submitted. Hold that thought, y'all. This said, let's turn our attention specifically to our work in the case regarding the autopsy of Austin Metcalf. My notes show that y'all recorded the date and the time of death. Here we go. I like this right here as about a 10:53. So once again, he did not pass away at the stadium. For everybody that said that Austin Metcalf passed away at the stadium, I told you in the arrest record that Austin Metcalf did not pass away at the stadium. He left the stadium either fully alive or they brought him back at the stadium, because they did work on him at the stadium, but he was not pronounced DOA at the stadium. At the stadium. My notes show that y'all recorded the date and time of D as April the 2nd, 2025, about 10:53 a.m. Is that correct? She said yes. And that would have occurred at the hospital. Yes. And then it looks like you perform your own autopsy the next day. Uh-oh, Mississippi. Uh-oh, Mississippi. Hold on. Hold on, Mississippi. Y'all know I don't like to crisscross these cases, but you know, in certain things regarding forensics, I will refer to the other. So you mean to tell me Texas could perform their autopsy on Austin Metcalf the very next day and probably finish it in the same day, but Mississippi had to take over almost 30 days. Let me stop. Let me keep reading. And then it looks like you perform your own autopsy the next day, April the 3rd of 2025 at about 10:30 in the morning. That's correct. So for 24 hours, she started working on the body. 24 hours after his demise, she started working on the body. I like this, correct. And the history you had and what you observed is Austin Metcalf was seemingly a healthy young man at 17 years of age. Is that correct? Is that right? Correct. All right. There has been some talk about his height and his weight. As part of an autopsy, do you have to take height and weight? Come on with it. Yes. What were your findings here to respect to Austin Metcalf? His weight, this is what she said. His weight was recorded as 213 pounds and 73 inches, which is 6'1". When Tony Talks vested up, you've been talking about 225 pounds, 230 pounds. Where you get that information from, Tony? I got it from his mother. When his mother, Hannah and Austin, Metcalf's mother, was talking outside of the house, maybe a day or two after the passing, she said that her big babies, weighed 225 pounds. But also, once again, this is track season. So if Austin and Hannah, even though they were suspended, wasn't supposed to be on school grounds, which is what the prosecution also left out of his closing statements, even they lost weight, because I'm not saying they were sprint runners, but still a lot of people still drop pounds for track. No matter whatever the sport is, you still drop pounds. And I want to know exactly, because I can't see them being no runners. I can't see them being runners. So anything, they probably had field events, shot put, javelin throw, whatever the case may be. A lot of people still drop weight. So, but still, he only dropped 10 pounds, 10, 12 pounds. Hey, blame the mother. She said that her big babies weigh 225 pounds. Okay, blame the mother. But still, I still can see where at track, he still dropped some pounds to be part of track. So it happens. Okay. Can you just briefly run us through what your external examiner reveals? Okay, external. Here we go. External. Here we go. So in the autopsy report, it begins with external examination. In the first few paragraphs, I document how we received the body. His body was received in a hospital gown. His hands and feet were bagged. That is correct. Why Nolan Wales? I'm gonna leave it alone. But I will say this: why Daniel Irvin's hands? I want to know if his hands and feet were bagged. I want to know if Taylor Smith, the one that they said up there in another state, he unalived himself accidentally by playing Russian roulette. I want to know. And the mother said, and the grandmother said, they did not bag his hands, but they said he was the one that pulled the trigger. Y'all, listen, I told you I don't got no short-term memory. Let's keep going. His hands and feet were bagged. No other items were present with the body, so he had nothing else. I documented his height, his weight, his physical characteristics, his eye color, his hair color, his stature, well-developed, well-nourished. I also identified if there were any identifying marks and scars, and none was present. So he didn't even have a tattoo, y'all. He didn't even have a tattoo. I also documented any evidence of therapy. He had some evidence documented because there was emergency medical service, okay, that responded to the scene, as well as transporting him to the hospital. So in that paragraph, I documented a trachea tube, endotrachea tube in his mouth, a cervical collar encircled his neck, an electrocardial diagram defibrillator pads were on his body, so they had to shock him. Once again, y'all, so this means that they did have to shock him at the scenes. Why would you shock somebody that was, I'm gonna let it go. Shh. Tony, don't let it go. And a vascular access lines was present. Okay, the court reporter, slow down, please. Oh, Jane Duggar was trying to type all of this. She said, slow down, please. The court, slow down just a little bit. You are using big words that we're not used to using. I also documented externally a stab wound to the chest. What did you proceed on to do an external examination? Let me read that one again. Question. And did you proceed on to do an external examination? Yes. What would you tell us about your finding there? So internally, in association to the stab wound, I documented I documented that he had a stab wound on the left side of his chest that perforated the left thick corsal cartilage at the junction of the sternum, which is the bone on the center of our chest. Then it perforated the pericardial sac, which is the sac that surrounds the heart, and then it penetrated the right ventricle of the heart. And I believe you mentioned it earlier, but part of your job sometimes is to remove organs and look at them. Did you have told us that the knife wound was through the heart? Did you in fact remove the heart and study it? Yes, the heart was removed, and I documented the defect that went redacted and gave a measurement of approximately, y'all, why they ain't say no inches? Approximately, why Jane left out the inches? Also of the depth of the wound into the body, including the heart. Okay, with the court's permission at this time, we publish State 90 on the Elmo, and that we may help us explain a little bit. And just for the record and members in the audience, this is a 2D body diagram, not a graphic, Your Honor. Okay? And you recognize that, of course, as the body diagram in this case? She says yes. And are those your notes written, or is it that somebody that takes notes on your behalf? No, these are my handwritten notes. Okay, you mentioned the depth of the wound, the width of the wound. What did your findings reveal in the case? So in the diagram, you can see where I have an oval shaped right between the nipples. Oh, y'all, that was it. That was it, y'all. Hold on. So this was it. Hold on. Hey, this is it, y'all. This is it. This is actually it, the diagram. So in the diagram, you can see where I have an oval-shaped right between the two nipples. Okay, on the diagram. This is where the entries of the stab was located on his body. And then the numbers on the side, okay, are just kind of a location 16 inches below the top of the head and 8 5/8 inches to the left of the chest. The stab wound was measured at 2 inches in length, gaping. It had sharp margins. It had sharp superior and inferior angles, and the margins of the stab wound was smooth. What does that indicate to you, if anything? It's the characteristic finding that we usually see in sharp force injuries. You used the word gaping earlier. The member of the jury can see it in your notes. So y'all see this right here? Let me go back here. Let me read a little bit more. Could you kind of describe with a little more detail what it means to classify a knife wound or a sharp wound as gaping? So in this document where I kind of am drawing an oval shaped defect, depending on where the person is hit at, the wound can be more split-like where the edges are close together. In this case, he was boom in the chest, breaking the lining and the fibrous tissues underneath our skin, causing separation of those margins. So instead of margins being close together as in a slit-like defect, the margins were pulled further apart and given more of a gaping. Who in the world opened up the womb? Hold on, y'all, so y'all can see this. Hold on. Who in the world opened up the womb? What? Did somebody open up the womb? Come on, here we go. This is where I'm at. So in this document where I am kind of drawing an oval-shaped defect, depending on where the person is hit at, the wound can be more of a slit-like where the edges are close together. In this case, he was hit in the chest, breaking the lining and fibrous tissues underneath our skin, causing separation of those margins. So instead of the margins being close together, as in a slit-like defect, the margins were more pulled apart and giving more of a gaping, oval-shaped defect in the center of his chest. Who pulled with a knife, pull the margins further apart and give it more of a gaping? Y'all, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just reading what the doctor is saying. Let me keep going. And that has to do with just the fibrous tissues underneath the chest area, causing the stress and the tension of the skin fibers to be pulled further apart. Who in the... Okay. I didn't know a stab wound pulls the skin apart. So in layman's term, the same knife can make two different types of wounds. What? So in layman's term, no. Hold on. Don't do it. Hold on. No. Hold on, Vestas. Hold on, Vestas. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Back. Audio check. Okay, I see it. So in layman's terms, and I'm definitely going to start looking. And let me go ahead and put these comments up here, y'all. Whoa. Okay, I see. Was Austin Metcalf given chest compressions by the coach when Austin was unconscious at the time? You can hear Austin choking on his... Ooh. Y'all. What if somebody did something wrong at the scenes and... I ain't gonna say that. Oh, I ain't gonna say that. Let's keep going. So in layman's term, the same wound can make the two different types. Oh gosh, hold on. Let me share my screen because I like to share. Hold on. Okay, it's back up. So in layman's terms, thank you for that, baby girl. How you doing, baby girl? So and yo just happened to pop up in here. Hold on. In fact, Karmelo Anthony would need a hammer to drive that 3-inch knife. Come on, that's what I'm saying. But do y'all remember, right? The prosecution, he was trying to discount this medical examiner's what was it called? Impalement theory. Remember, it came out and we was talks before we started getting into these documents that Austin body's weight, he failed on it. So he failed on it. So remember, the prosecution also talked about the impalement theory, which is why I'm reading her testimony, because I want her to see. Because if you're right, Karmelo Anthony 130, hey, the prosecution already called him a magician by how swift he moves. You're right. Karmelo Anthony will have to be a magician and also have the power of a he-man to deliver this force. No. I think the medical examiner, which the prosecution didn't like, was the impalement theory that Austin impaled himself on the weapon. Let's keep going. Come on with it, y'all. Hold on. But I agree with you. Karmelo Anthony, hold on. Karmelo Anthony would need a hammer to drive that 3-inch. And guess what? Karmelo Anthony, it only went in 2 inches, 2 inches and a half, right? 2 inches. But I got you. Hold on. Was the knife stuck in the food? But hold on, what she say? Was the knife stuck in, but the food's removed it? Oh, he failed on it. Come on with it. So he was conscious. Yes, you don't do. That's what I'm saying. Something happened. That's what I'm saying. Which would be 213 pounds of pressure. You got it. That's why the prosecution did not like the impalement theory. Yes, because if he was breathing and the idiots turned on the AD. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking too. They did something at the scenes. Or he failed on it. Let's keep reading. Okay. So in layman's terms, the same knife can make two different types of wound on the body, a gaping or a split, depending on the layer of elasticity in the human body. Okay. She says, yes, correct. I believe those are called Langer's lines. Is that right, doctor? She says, yes. Okay, next question. You don't like when I use that term, do you? She said, no, it's just blank. If I am explaining it to somebody, it is better to kind of describe it. Okay. It always makes you smile when I say that to you, does it? Oh, are you flirting with the medical examiner? It always makes you smile when I say that to you, doesn't it? Langer's lines. That is, oh gosh. Okay, I just want to bring it up. In the path of the womb, again, I think we see it in your notes. I think you mentioned it once. It's through the cartilage of the sternum. She said yes. And then it penetrates the hardware. She answered, so it penetrates the heart in the right ventricle, and it completely went through the heart walls. It ain't no 213 pounds of pressure. That's what I think we finna go to. Okay. And in addition to the 2D body diagram like this, the photographs are taken. She says yes. And do you remember me coming over and meeting with you? It may have been 2 months ago now, and going through everything about this case, but specifically the photographs. They sure got a tight relationship, but maybe that's just protocol. But the prosecutor going to meet with the medical examiner, maybe it's protocol, y'all. Maybe it's protocol. Maybe we I don't know. Hey, if y'all know in the chat, because it seems like we have a very diverse and an intelligent community over here at Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge, let me know if it's common for the prosecutor or the defense to go talk to the medical examiner about the autopsy, the photographs. Let me know. He's trying to be cute. Okay. The quality of BCLS. Oh, what's up, Bunny? We talking your language tonight. CPR and use of manual clamps for continuous compressions did further damage affecting womb opening. I wasn't expecting that at that time. And y'all know I normally don't read comments doing a live. I guess tonight it's about that time. You said, yes, prosecutor, do meet with medical examiners to get an understanding of what they're looking at. Okay. Vonnie, what's up, Vonnie? When the ambulance arrived and it admitted that they had given CPR and has done chest compressions on him. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that would scratch. Oh, so, well, let's keep reading because maybe she is going to go into that, what could cause the womb to scratch open, because now I can see that if they doing chest compressions, yes, it's doing this right here. Okay, so that's why they brought up the elasticity. Where is it? I know I just saw that word, elasticity. Hold on, I ain't crazy now. Hold on. Oh, there you go. Depending on the layers of elasticity in the human body. Come on with it, y'all. We go get through this together. Okay. Yes, and then it penetrated the heart. So it penetrates the heart right in the middle vertical. Okay, we talked about that. The photographs, yes. And what I asked you to do, and I think what you did was to go through all of the photographs you took and just selected a very few without being repetitive and unnecessarily gruesome, that can best show the nature and extent of the injuries from the womb to this jury. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Now let me show you some photographs, and I believe they are just 4. They only brought 4 photographs. 4. Okay. And I have you look at these, and for the record, it states 80, 81, 82, and 83. And these are the photographs that you chose to try not to be gruesome and keep me out of 403 problems, correct? Let's see here. These are just actors. Really, so I can see the prosecutor talking her into playful. Well, I'm pretty sure she also was covering herself, especially if she brings up the impalement theory. I'm trying to get to the impalement theory. I want to read that, and I agree with you, free Marcelo Jackson. All right, this is the time, Your Honor, I would offer the states 80 through 83 exclusively. Hey, state, hey, when you whisper, we can hear you. Oh, okay. Mr. Shook, yes, Judge, we object to, no objection to 80 or 81. We would object to the state's exhibits 82 and 83 under 304. 304 problems. I'm sorry, 403 problems. Okay. 80 and 81 are admitted off the record discussion. Off the record discussion. Okay. The objection to 82 and 83 are overruled and they are admitted. Mr. Wilkie, and Your Honor, at this time, out of the respect for the family and members of the people in the galley, turn it back on, Mr. Wilkie. I know we'll get used to it. Mr. Wilkie, at this time, out of respect for the family and the people in the gallery, I would ask your permission for Dr. Ventura to follow me in the front of the jury so we can publish these 4 photographs just to the members of the jury. So they didn't even show the pictures to the gallery and to the family. Court, you can step down, please. And doctor, we got a large jury, so we all going to try to show the photos just to the jury and not to anyone else. Let's start with the state exhibit 1. Number 1, sick. Here, I try to make it easy for you. The court, state exhibit 80, states exhibit 80. What do you see in states exhibit 80? The picture was taken to show blank. Hey, so now she has blank. Discussion with the staff. So this picture was taken to document the S wound to the center of the chest. It is far away picture to orientate you to his upper portion of his body with the S wound. And it is the close-up that of the gaping wound. Is that what we see in state exhibit number 81? Yes. So this is the close-up image where you don't really know where on what part of the body, but because of the previous injury, you could see that it was the center of his chest. This is okay. I remember I even showed that, y'all. It was, remember when I showed it to you for all of the vessels that was following me at that time, we said, is this what caused it? Y'all, I'm gonna try to find that picture. Because they got a real close up to it where it just looked at like, it was like, this is what caused him to pass away. Okay, this is the oval shaped S wound that has gaping margins that are separated from each other instead of a closed and slit like. The whole oval defect is the entire S wound. And that's a result of Langer's line. Yes. Okay. These next 2 photos, states exhibit 82 and 83. They are photographs of the heart after it had been removed from the body. You know, I don't need to see that. And I didn't see that. Yes. And could you walk the members of the jury through state exhibits 82 and what does it show? Okay. So this is the deceased heart after I removed it from the body. This is the right side of the heart. This is the left side of the heart. This is the right atrium of the heart. This is the right ventricle of the heart. And right here, you can see a slit size defect in the right ventricle of the heart. And that is where the knife penetrated the heart and entered. We've been kind of on this end of the jury box. Let me publish these a little bit further down so everybody can see this, and then we'll start to the final photograph on the end. States exhibit 83, and what do you see here, Doc? So this is another photograph of the heart, and when I have a medical instrument, I'm pulling at the stab wound defect in the heart just to illustrate the defect through the heart, and it is at the tip of the forceps. Okay. Mr. Wiki, let me walk back here so everybody that wants to look can. Is it good, doctor? Okay, you can have a seat. The womb, the jury has just seen the womb you described. Is it survivable? She says no. I believe you told me that the only way to survive a wound like that, to be part of the heart, is to have it pre-sutured, correct? She said yes. Basically, what does that mean? He would have to be on an operating table with his chest open, with a surgeon over him ready to suture the heart. And even then, it may not work, correct? She says correct. And did you find signs of internal bleeding? She says yes. Let me show you. When we visited, I think I showed you the actual boot poker that was recovered in the case. Do you remember that? She says yes. Let me show you what's in for demonstrative purposes only as state 88, and I will represent to you. I don't know if you remember, but this is an exact, y'all, here you go. So they did bring, I don't know if you remember, but this is an exact duplicate of the knife I showed you earlier, the actual knife, a duplicate of the knife. She says yes. Is this type of knife and a type of blade capable of making the wounds you observed? She says yes. Okay, it is blank. Nothing inconsistent with the blade and the wound. No, inconsistently. Complete consistent, yes. And is a knife like this considered a deadly weapon in the state of Texas? She says yes. And we also have some legal terms you are familiar with the legal term of act clearly dangerous to human life. Yes. Is stabbing someone with a knife like this in the region of the womb you observe clearly dangerous under Texas law? She says yes. Let me pause. Now this is the medical examiner's, Dr. Elizabeth Ventura's testimony on the oath. Keep this in mind. Also keep in mind, if you saw last night live, all of the officers said that the Leatherman or the tool or whatever Karmelo Anthony had was legal. So what are they talking about? So are they talking about the knife that the other person had? Let me keep going. Because I think Jane right here, I'm still looking to see where the medical examiner talked about the two wounds. Mike Howard talked about the two wounds in closing arguments. Did she forget that part of Mike Howard's closing arguments? I think the prosecution also mentioned two wounds, but I could be mistaken. But I'm looking for the two wounds entry. But I know that even Mike Howard said the officers said that whatever Karmelo Anthony had was legal. The prosecution didn't say that it was a legal tool or whatever he had either. He just said it was improper for him to have it at the stadium, but it was legal in the state of Texas. So what they're talking about another weapon, y'all. They're talking about another weapon. But let me keep reading. I'm just thinking while we go through this whole entire transcript. And a knife like this is consistently deadly weapon in Texas. Y'all, they talking about another weapon here. Is stabbing someone with a knife like this in the region of the womb you observe, is that an act clearly dangerous under Texas law? Yes. Finally, let me finish up with just two questions for the record. The official cause of death of Austin Metcalf was what? The results of the stab wound to the chest. Okay. And the manner of death in this case was what, doctor? Homicide. Mr. Wiki, I pass the witness. Hang on, Mr. Shook. It is on. I think so. Yes, it is, sir. Thank you, cross-examination. Now we're going to get into the cross-examination because, hold on, something is missing from this because the prosecution, and if I have to pull up number 8, I'll pull up volume 8 again. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pull up volume 8 because it was the prosecution that talked about the impalement theory from the medical examiner. And I still haven't seen it. Let me see here. I'm gonna keep going, but please somebody remind me to bring up volume 8 again because the prosecution didn't like the fact that the Dr. Ventura brought up the impalement theory. Oh, we finna go through this. Hold on. Let's see here. Here go cross-examination by Mr. Shook. I have a few questions for you, Dr. Ventura. In your reports and in the drawing, if I could see, is that over here? You listed the wound being oblongly oriented. Yes. Can you explain? And I believe you said from left superior to right inferior. Could you explain to the jury what you meant by that? Yes. So, and you're right. You are so right. Who said that? Free Marcelo Jackson. Now knowing what the agreement was behind the scene, all this was performative. Now I don't know if the medical examiner was on it, but we know that the prosecution, Shook, Mike Howard, and the judge had a secret agreement going on behind the scenes. So they was just really just playing the roles of. Now I don't know about the medical examiner, but I'm just saying everybody else, when they want to do a cross-examination, they playing their part. But let's keep going. Could you explain to the jury what you meant by that? Yes. So the point of the body to the left side of the body on the diagram is a little bit higher position on the body. Okay, hold on. Let's see. This side, yes. So that is the superior angle of the defect. It is higher up from the head, and the opposite side of it is more inferior. So it is just giving a description that the wound did not enter the body horizontally. Hold on. So it's just giving a description that the wound did not enter the body horizontally, completely horizontally, or completely vertical. It has a little bit of an angle on it. So that is the picture I showed you. And obviously in your career, have you seen all different type of angles where the knife wounds penetrates body? She says yes. With this one oblique, it is more slightly oblique. It probably can be seen better in the photographs, but it is not at a 45-degree angle, for instance. Correct. Then the question was, did it appear to you that it was could almost be horizontal? It was a little more than horizontal, but kind of close to, obviously much closer to a horizontal than vertical. That is the picture that I showed you, right? Yes. Okay. And I could tell, and can you tell me by looking at the wound if it was caused by a single edge or a double edge poker? No. She says no. Both of the angles were sharp. And so in this case, just looking at the defect on the chest in the pictures, it is hard to say that one angle was sharp and one angle was blunt. But both of them in the picture appears to be sharp. Okay. And what you seen is blank by the knife that's in blank that was shown to you for demonstrative evidence, is that the type of knife that could be caused that wound? Well, is that the type of knife that could cause that wound where there is only one side of the blade, but it could still appear that both sides were sharp? She says yes. And you said that the knife penetrated near. Is it where the cartilage of the sternum comes together with the ribs? She says yes. Okay. Did it go through bone or just part of the cartilage? The cartilage. Is that near the sternum? She says yes. You estimated it is exactly the depth of 2.5 inches from penetration of the wound. Is that as best as you can get? She says yes, it is approximated. Okay. Do you feel it is pretty accurate though? She says yes. As far as sometimes you get asked questions about how much force was used to cause an S wound, do you not? She says yes. Do you have a way of measuring force for a knife wound? She says no. Keep that in mind. Okay. Obviously, a stab wound to the skull or something would be redacted. You need a whole lot of force for that. I think we're finna go there, y'all. Correct. One indication would be if you know, or if the police, let's say, know the weapon, they are in possession of the weapon that caused it, in the case of blank, let's just say you have 4 inches depth stab wound, but the weapon that caused the wound is only 2 inches in length. Does that indicate a lot of force was used to cause a particular wound knife? She says yes. It could mean that the person pressed down. Oh, here we go, y'all. Yes, it does mean that the person, yes, it could mean that the person pressed down on the body in order to make it go deeper inside the body than the length of the blade. Okay, let's keep going. And do you see that sometimes in chest rooms, she said, yes, sir. It is because if somebody was blank used a lot of force to make a stab, it can push the ribs and the body down, which causes the knife to go deeper in the body with great length. Hold on, let's pause. Hey, I think she about to go into the impalement case. If not, this would have been the perfect time to go into the impalement case, because we all saw that when Karmelo allegedly hit Austin in the chest, he ran away. Karmelo Anthony did not stand on top of Austin and push it down and put pressure on it. Just let me keep going. Do you see that sometimes in chest rooms? Yes, sir. Is that because if somebody was using a lot of force to make a blank, it can push the ribs and the body down, which causes the knife to go deeper into the body at greater length? Correct. And that would be an indicator of a greater force. Correct. In this case, the knife in question has been measured at 3.5 inches for the blade, and your best approximation is that 2.5 inches of depth for the room. Yes, that is approximation. Okay. And so this isn't the situation that we just talked about. Oh, look. So this is Mr. Shook. He said, okay. And this isn't the situation we just talked about, where you see it is a clear indicator of a lot more force where the blade goes longer than the wound goes longer than what the actual blade is. Yes, that is possible. Okay. And you said, I believe, you couldn't tell which side of the edges of the wound, which side of the blade redacted caused the injury. Correct. Because they were both described as sharp. Also, in your report, you said you noted that the wound had no significant lateral or vertical deviations. Do you recall? She says yes. Could you explain to the jury what you meant by that? So as a medical examiner, I also give a direction of the injury through the body in the anatomic position. Excuse me. So in the diagram where I have my notes and picture of the S wound on the chest, that diagram was standing in the anatomical position. Okay, so like this. Going down, Austin body, she's standing over the body. Okay, so facing forward, palms up forward, feet facing forward. And using an anatomical position, I give the direction of the injury through the body. In this case, I documented it as front to back only. Sometimes I can give a right to left deviation and upward and downward deviation. In this case, it was only front to back. Have you seen different all kinds of knife injuries in autopsies over the years where you say you can see them being lateral, or you could see them how they cut through the body depending how the person may be swinging the knife or striking a body? She says yes. Whatever Jane Duggar meant right there, that was all her words. Yes, in this case, when you finally find, or your findings were, it was front to back, is that an indicator that the knife was straight in and out? Answer: it is an indicator that when it entered the body, it only went front to back. It only went front to back. Wait. Hold on. No. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this right. So question, Mr. Shook said, you have seen different blanks, different kinds of knife injuries in autopsies over the years, where you You say you could see them being lateral, or you can see how they cut through the body depending on how the person may be swinging the knife or striking a body. Yes. In this case, when you finally find, or your findings were, in this case, when you finally find, or your findings were, it was front to back, is that an indicator that the knife was straight in and out, straight in and then out? Then she answers, it is an indication that when it entered the body, it only went front to back. It went front to back. It only went front to back. It didn't go in and out. It went front to back. Y'all got to explain to me in the chat, what does it mean front to back? How does a knife go front to back? Front to back? Okay, okay. You have seen also bodies that have come in that a person died from a poker wound, and there may be many knife wounds on the body. She says correct. Let's keep going then. Let's keep going then. Have you seen bodies where there are penetration wounds that cause death, but also slashings on the arms and the hands and things like that? She says yes. But in this case, it was one single knife wound that went front to back. Might go front to back. Front to back. Correct. Can you tell the jury how much force was used to cause that knife? She says, no, I can't, because she said earlier she couldn't. So I'm glad she stuck with it. Depending on, does that depend also on the sharpness of the blade? It could be a factor. Okay. And how pointed the blade is? No. Oh, come on. Here we go. Come on with it. Come on with it. All right, come on with it. Hold one. Hold one. Hold one. Let me do a refresh. Hold one. All right, here we go. Let me share it again. All right, here we go. Could it be a factor? And how pointed the blade is? Okay, y'all see that? Yes, that could be a factor. The sharper point of the blade is the easier knife penetrated on the body. Yes. Can you tell the jury how much force was used to cause the knife? No, I can't. Does that depend also on the sharpness of the blade? It could be a factor. And how pointed the blade is? Yes, that could be a factor. The sharper blank and the sharper point of the blade, the easier the knife penetrates the body. Yes. Mr. Shook says, okay, may I approach the witness? The court says, yes, sir. I know you get asked questions like this a lot by lawyers, but could that blank, would it be consistent if the person, the victim, was standing over the victim? Hold on. Mr. Shook seemed like he did. He finna ask the right question. Hold on. I know you get asked questions like this a lot by lawyers, but that could. Would it be consistent if the person, the victim, was standing over the defendant, and if they were seated, let's say, on a bleacher in a stadium, okay, just in a seated position, and if the victim had come over in an attempt to remove him from that bench, throw him off that bench, whatever, grab that person, or push that person, or grab that person from front to the back, shoved him back, and that person was holding a knife between their legs and in the bag with their right hand, and they shove him back, the knife came out. If that person was over, this person put the knife up, could that have caused this type of injury? Y'all, hold on. Listen. It can cause the angle going front to back. Question, if the victim were over him in an angle that way, so it was straight on, the victim was over the body. I'm sorry. Come on, Jane. Hold on. The answer was the victim was over the body. or I'm sorry. The question was, yes, the victim was over the body. The defendant was sitting down, and if they reached in and grabbed him, forced him back, pulled up, could the knife, could that cause the knife? If the victim just stuck the knife, if the victim stuck the knife out, come on, Jane, you don't supposed to mess this up. God, what she said, yes. Would that be consistent? Yes. There are many possibilities because the body is in constant motion, and it's hard for me to say, but yes, they are. It can be consistent with that, but my trajectory is given in the anatomic position, so it is not the position the person was in, probably where he sustained the injury. Now, this is when the defense should have told a medical examiner to stand up and let's do a scene reenactment, because Shook was on something. I think even Shook was surprised that he was about to give Karmelo Anthony the keys to get out of a free card. Hold on. I want to read this again. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Because he was getting somewhere. He was getting somewhere. Shook was getting somewhere. Hold on. Shook was getting somewhere. Okay, right here. Okay, he was getting somewhere. I think even Shook surprised him and said, hold on, let me back off. Whoa, let me back off. Hold on, I'm going to get Karmelo Anthony off. I think he had back. Let's see him. So question. Have you seen different, all kind of knife injuries in autopsies over the years? When you say you could see them being lateral, or you could see how they cut through the body, depending how the person may be swinging the knife or striking the body. She says yes. In this case, when you finally find, or your findings where it was front to back, is that an indicator where the knife was straight in and then out? She says it is an indicator that when it entered the body, it was only front to back. Front to back. Okay. You have also seen bodies that have come in that a person passed away from knife wounds, and there could have been many knife wounds on the body. She says correct. Okay. You have seen bodies where there were penetrating wounds that caused death, but also slashing wounds to the arms and the hands and things like that. She says yes. Okay. But in this case, it was just one single knife wound that went front to back. She says yes. Okay. You can't tell the jury how much force was used to cause the knife sick. She said, no, I cannot. Does that depend also on the sharpness of the blade? She said it could be a factor. Then the question was, how pointed is the blade? She said, yes, that could be a factor. The sharper, blank, and the sharper point of the blade, the easier the knife penetrates the body. She says, yes. Okay, Mr. Shook said, okay, may I approach the witness? Here we go, y'all. The court says, yes, sir. Question. I know you get asked questions like this a lot by lawyers, but could that, redacted, would it be consistent if the person, the victim, Austin, was standing over Karmelo Anthony? If they were seated, let's just say on a bleacher in a stadium, okay, just in a seated position, and if the victim, which was Austin, had come over in an attempt to remove him from the bench, throw him off the bench, or whatever, grab that person, or push that person, or grab that person from the front to the back, shoving back, and that person was holding a knife between their legs in the bag with their right hand, or they shove them back, the knife came out. Oh. And in the bag with their right hand, and they were shoved back, and the knife came out. Oh. So at the same time, hold on. So this actually could be aligning up with Hunter said. When Hunter said we grabbed his book bag, and then Hunter said, but it was an accident. I can't speak. What if Karmelo Anthony did have his hands in his book bag on the wound just in case, when he said, don't come in, don't touch me. And what if he had it in his bag? And he still said it, and he see these 213 pounds, 230 pounds, and he got it there, but he ain't put it out yet. What if he ain't put it out yet, y'all? Watch this right here. Watch this. Karmelo is sitting down. He got his hands in the bag, but he ain't put it out yet. But he's just in case they hit me. I got it. I just got it on standby, but I ain't put it out yet. Now, Austin, remember the witnesses said that they thought that Karmelo didn't have nothing in the bag. So that means that Karmelo Anthony did not flash it. He didn't pull it out. He didn't warn nobody. They said, but they didn't think he had a weapon in the bag because Karmelo Anthony, what is that word? What is that legal word? He didn't brandish it. So that still that mean Karmelo Anthony was still thinking like, man, this just go down. Don't be a punk. Don't let them punk you, but don't pull it out because hey, maybe they could just be joking. Because remember the prosecution. No, remember Mike Howard said that Karmelo Anthony said he didn't know if they was joking or not. So he would just had it ready just in case it get hot under that tent, right? Now what if Austin? Remember they kept saying Austin kept getting mad and more angry. And Karmelo Anthony still got his hands on it in his bag. Remember, the prosecution kept bringing up the secret. The secret is in the bag. I said, why this man keep calling Karmelo Anthony Leatherman a secret? Oh, it was a secret because the twins didn't know he actually had something in the bag. And all the witnesses said, oh, they didn't think he really had something in the bag. Y'all, this thing is coming together. So Karmelo Anthony is sitting down, even his defense is asking the medical examiner, what if the defendant is sitting down this whole time? And then so hold on. Mr. Wilkie, no. Mr. Shook is actually telling us what happened under the tent. Even though we didn't see it in the distorted video, Shook is describing exactly what happened under the tent. Karmelo Anthony sitting there with his knife, his hand on the weapon inside the book bag. Now, Austin and Hunter said, we took his book bag. So they take his book bag at the same time. Now, if the book bag is sitting on Karmelo Anthony's lap, right? With all his personal stuff in there, it's sitting on his lap. They snatched the book bag from Karmelo, not knowing when they snatched the book bag from Karmelo, they didn't know that he had the weapon in his hands that was on his lap. And when Austin went in to grab him, Austin fell on the knife. Austin fell on the knife. Austin fell on the knife, y'all. In a seated position. And if the victim, which is Austin, had come over in an attempt to remove him from the bench, throw him off the bench, whatever, grab that person and push that person and grab that person from the front and the back. They doing this right here. They pulling on him, not knowing that Karmelo Anthony, when they snatched off the book bag, the knife was uncovered. So Austin, he punctured his own self when he was trying to bully Karmelo Anthony and assault him under the tent. That person from the front to the back shoved him back. And when he shoved Karmelo Anthony back, his body weight came down on the knife. He didn't see it in his hands. Austin did not see it in Karmelo Anthony's hands. He didn't see it in his hands. That's why the witnesses said it seemed like it was simultaneously with the shove. Because when they pushed him back, when he shoved him back, he came forward and his body weight hit the knife. God dang. Okay. Throw him off the bench, whatever, grab that person and push that person and grab that person from the front to the back, shoved him back. And that person was holding a knife between their legs in the bag with the right hand. And when they shoved him back, the knife came out. If that person were over the person, put the knife up, could that have caused the injury? Okay, I can explain that. It's all physics, y'all. It's all physics. Austin, you ungrab me. One twin ungrabbed the bag. The knife is revealed, but you don't see it. That's why he didn't see it, y'all, because it was too low. It was too low. And when he pushed Karmelo Anthony back, he's not paying attention what's low, right? So when he pushed him back, even though Karmelo Anthony had the knife in his on his lap, right? When he pushed him back, the knife by physics came up and probably hit him at the chest. But I'm going to ask the question again: is Karmelo Anthony left-handed? That still has to be a left-handed wound, and I still think somebody came over the back of Austin. But let's keep reading. But I get what he's saying. So really, Shook is telling what happened under the tent. Y'all, I know I'm having a hot flash. The knife came out, and if the person was over this person, put the knife up, could this have caused the injury? It can cause the angle going back and forth. She said it can cause the angle going back and forth instead of in and out. Basically, they just told us what happened under the tent. It can cause the angle going front to back. So if this is Mr. Shook, so if the victim was over him in an angle that way, so it was straight on, the victim was over the body. I'm sorry, come on with it. Come on, Jane. Yes, the victim was over the body. The victim was sitting down. If they reached in and grabbed him, forcefully pushed him back, pulled up, could that cause the knife? If the victim just stuck the knife, if the victim stuck the knife out, yes. That would be consistent. She says yes. There are many possibilities because the body is in constant motion. And it could be hard for me to say, but yes, there are. It can be consistent with that, but my trajectory given in an anatomic position, so it is not a position to where a person was in, probably because when he sustained an injury. This is when they should have did a reenactment in the courtroom, had a fake bleacher up there, however they want to position, just to show the tugging on the body and the knife coming up because of physics. It could have been a different position. So there can be multiple positions that a person was in when they received a front to backwards trajectory through their body. But if the deceased, I don't know why they got their word in, was over the defendant and he reached up and stabbed him going from front to back, that could be consistent too. Okay, consistent with, okay. And as far as how easily that knife penetrated the body depends on how sharp the knife is, correct? Yes, that is a factor. How pointed the blade is, that could be a factor. If the ascendant grabbed the defendant forcefully, shoved him back, then jerked him up. Oh. If the defendant grabbed the defendant, forced him, shoved him back, and jerked him up. Oh, that's where the knife came up. Could that also contribute to how far the knife went in, the force? The force of being pulled back, could that, question, the force of being pulled back, could that also be added into the force of the stabbing motion as well? Any type of force can contribute to more force than needed to enter the body. Okay, question. You could obviously and or ask that could happen in many ways, but the scenario we described, that could be one of the ways it could have happened. For the trajectory or the end of the body, question is, yes, ma'am. She answers, yes. The medical examiner asks, she answers with yes. I could rule that out. So, okay. You couldn't rule that out, but that's blank. You couldn't say that couldn't have happened that way. You couldn't say that couldn't happen that way. If I redacted, if I cannot say it, if I could not say it because I was not there, I didn't witness it. So there are many possibilities, but that could be one of them. One more question. You have ruled, in your opinion, this was homicide. Is that a common phrase you use for every redacted? It isn't unique to this case. Could you explain to the jury why medical examiners use the word homicide? Yes. So there are 5 types of manners of death. There's natural, which is due to an internal disease. There's accidental, which is an injury. An injury led to a death, an unintentional injury. S word, S word, which means the person who died did it. And self-inflicted injuries to himself, a self-inflicted injury to themselves. Homicide, which is a death resulted from the internal actions of another person. And underdetermined, where the insignificant evidence could put a category associated with death. There is not enough evidence to say natural or accidental or homicidal or that S word. Those are the 5 types of death. So in this case, this is classified as a homicide in medical terms because the death was the results of the intentional actions of another person. Hold one. Now, Dr. Ventura, I was with you. But you just also said that you wasn't there, you didn't witness this. So why would you say that this was intentional actions of another person when you just agreed with Mr. Shook when he was describing a pushing, a pulling, a grabbing, a tugging, lifting somebody up while they're seated? Why did you say this was intentional? You should have just left undetermined. Oh, Elizabeth Ventura. So in this case, you know what? I'm going to say this right here. I'm definitely going to say this right here. In this case, we have a woman, and I'm a woman. I'm going to say this as a woman. I'm going to say this as a woman. I'm definitely going to say this to all the professional women out there. And I'm going to give props to Janetta Brigham, the audio forensics expert. Hey, that dropped that bombshell in the Nolan's Well case when she did the audio forensics on that particular call. You know, that CETO call. But to the woman and medical chief examiner in Collins County, all you had to do was do your job. And to the chief medical examiner in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, all you had to do was just do your job. Listen, I understand the dynamics of women and men in the workplace. I trust you. And there's a lot of professional women that understand the relationship of men and women in the workplace. But all you got to do is just do your damn job. This is a woman in Karmelo Anthony case. She has already said that she didn't witness it. She really can't say. She did confirm that, yeah, based on the description under the tent that Mr. Shook gave her, she can see where it caused the front and the back. But she really can't say that's what happened because she said she didn't witness it. So why would you say the reason why you classify this as homicide is because the death was the results of an intentional actions of another individual? I will say this. Austin Metcalf, I agree. Because of his actions, he caused his own death. Austin Metcalf, because he took it upon himself to first approach Karmelo Anthony in a hostile, aggressive manner. We already heard it. We already seen enough before they started distorting the videos. And they was the one that snatched the book bag, which caused the knife to be revealed, even though they didn't see it. Because by that time, when they snatched the book bag at the same time, they was already on Karmelo Anthony to the left and the right. They was already on him and they didn't see it because they didn't think he had nothing on him to defend himself. Austin Metcalf, you are the result of your own unaliving. The only guilty party in this case right here is Austin Metcalf and his brother, Hunter Metcalf, which is why Hunter said, I didn't even see it. That means, Hunter, either you was on the lookout or you had your hands on Karmelo Anthony also. Mr. Shook said, that's all the questions I have. Now, let me tell you one thing, Mr. Shook, since we know exactly what you, the judge, and the defense had already did. Now, what's your name? Mr. Shook, you actually could have left it right here. You actually could have left it right here because she had given you everything that the defense need. But Mr. Shook, you knew, like I said, Mr. Shook, you actually was about to approve that Karmelo Anthony unintentionally unalived Austin Metcalf. Like I said, oh, Mr. Shook is actually doing what he needed to do. But see, when you caught yourself, Mr. Shook, that's why you had to come up here with one more question. You had to cause doubt. You had to come up and ask this question. Why did she rule it as homicide? See, that's how you tried to cover yourself. That's why you covered yourself, because you know that just by that alone, Dr. Ventura had caused a lot of doubt. What? You painted the picture for her and she said yes, but then you caught yourself, Mr. Shook. That's why you had to come back with this right here. Oh, you had to come back with this right here. And then after she said yes, he said, that's all the questions I have. You see how they played it? They did enough to pretend like they was doing their job, because nobody knew about that gentleman's agreement behind the scenes. So he did enough, but then he had to make sure he put this homicide back in the jury's mind. Pass the witness, the courts, pass the witness. Redirection. Oh, they tag teaming because they already know about, they tag teaming, they already know about the agreement behind the scenes. All right, Mr. Wilkie, I want to find out about this impalement theory. And then I'm going to the comments that I'm gonna let y'all go. Oh, it's been 1 hour and 45 minutes. I'm gonna let y'all go. Hold on. Mr. Wilkie, let's see what he's gonna say in cross-examination. Oh, he had to stand up. Hey. The prosecution, Bill Wiki, had to stand up and do a cross-examination because he saw, oh, hell, Shook. He just caused some doubt, even though he tried to clean it up. Oh, Shook and caused some doubt. Hold on. Woo. Cross-examination. Doctor, you hinted at it, but I'm not sure the jury either heard you or understood the full import of what I think you were trying to say. There's a lot of danger in doing reenactments. Oh, here you go. See, I told y'all, he picked it up. When Shook accidentally did a very accurate reenactment, oh man. Oh, the prosecution like, oh gosh, I got to clean this up. Whoa. There's a lot of danger in doing reenactment. No, it ain't. That's what you're supposed to do. Y'all remember we went over the CSI, all of the elements of a crime scene is reenactment. Oh, prosecution, stop that. But he could not let everybody in the courtroom hear that, and the jury kind of sit with that a little bit. So he's going to do some damage control, like we just saw a counsel do in the courtroom. Correct. In this particular case, almost everything would be consistent, right? They are multiple scenarios that could be consistent with the trajectory. That's what they talked about. The angle of the wound. And I'm still looking for the second wound that Mike Howard talked about in his closing arguments. Why nobody ain't addressing the second wound that Mike Howard brought up in his closing argument? All right. And when we talk about multiple, and it could be in the hundreds of thousands because you have had a weapon, you have two people moving at multiple planes at multiple times. So it'd be very easy to construct a scenario that would fit your finding. Are you serious? They trying to set a defense. They came up with a scenario to fit your findings, but it would be very foolhardy for the jury to extrapolate that any particular scenario is what happened that day. Would you agree? Well, prosecution, all you had to do was show the actual crystal clear video, and then everybody see exactly what happened under the tent, the movements under the tent, who grabbed who, the body language, the fluidity of the movement, who, the pushing and shoving, because it seemed like to me Mr. Shook saw the video, because he described what happened under the video before it was distorted for the jury and the public. Oh, Austin. Oh, come on with it. Come on. Would you agree with that? Yes. Question. So I believe I don't want the jury to walk away to think that somehow Austin Metcalf had go impaled. So actually it was the prosecution that brought up the impalement theory. Y'all. Hold on. So it was the prosecution that brought up the impalement? because Mr. Shook didn't use those words. It was the prosecution that used these words. Do you see how subconsciously he did a Freudian slip? The prosecution just did a Freudian slip, y'all. I thought it was, hold on. Because the prosecution in their closing statement, they made it seem like Mr. Ventura brought up the impalement theory when it was the prosecution himself that brought up the impalement theory. Let's read. Okay, yes. So I don't want the jury to walk away to think that somehow Austin Metcalf impaled himself on Karmelo Anthony's knife. Yo, we just read this. Defense didn't bring up this theory. The medical examiner didn't bring up this theory. It actually was the prosecution that brought up the impalement theory. Impaled himself on Karmelo Anthony's knife. Mr. Shook, objection. The courts, stop everyone. Let him finish his question, and then I will entertain your objection. So actually, the defense did object to more than one thing besides the bastion challenge of all black juries being struck down. Don't answer till I rule on an objection. Go ahead. Question. It would be fair in your professional estimate for any jury to walk away thinking the scenario counsel just described, where Austin Metcalf virtually impaled himself on Karmelo Anthony's knife. All you can say is it consistent. You can't say whether it is probable or not. It is just possible, correct? Court, do you have an objection, Mr. Shook? No, Judge. You may answer the question. Correct. Question. So it is very dangerous to make those sort of assumptions in the courtroom, correct? All you had to do was show the video, but you know that Mr. Shook had said too much, prosecutor. That's why you had to come in here and do damage control. Correct. Do you watch TV at all? Watch TV at all? Yes. In TV, they do that all the time, don't they? Yes. It is frustrating for those in the business that the actual limits of a particular forensic discipline are not accurately portrayed on TV. Would you agree? I see where he's going with this, but scene reenactment is part of CSI. It is part of a legal, it's something that CSI does on the scene, law enforcement do on the scene. It is part of a crime. But Mr. Wilkie, you know that Mr. Shook had said too much, and you trying to clean this up. Yes. So the impaling scenario is just one of hundreds of thousands. Correct. That would be a full force knife wound. Correct. So let's talk about that. Counsel talked about force. The analysis that you hinted at is very rough or gross to use your language. Sometimes if the wound is deeper than the blade, generally speaking, you can exploit more force was used. Correct. But there could be multiple other reasons for that scenario. Correct. Let's take the converse of the scenario, which we have here. The depth of the wound is shorter than the length of the blade. The depth of the wound is shorter than the length of the blade. Okay, because the whole thing didn't go in. Okay. That could be less. That could be due to less than full force. Well, that part is true. It could be imposed target like cartridges of the sternum. Correct. So it would be foolish hardly for the jury to walk away from your testimony to think your testimony made any scenario more or likely possible, more or less likely when anything virtually is impossible. Correct. The only way you would know what scenario is feasible if you had solid, reliable, and anecdotal evidence, correct? Like the clear video. But look where he's going to go to. Like multiple eyewitnesses that came in and told the same story. All of them said they did not see Karmelo Anthony hit Austin in the chest. And now we know why. Because it did happen so fast, the way that Mr. Shook explained it. Karmelo Anthony had it down. And when they snatched the book bag, they snatched the book bag. The Metcalf twins snatched the book bag. The knife came uncovered. A Leatherman came uncovered. And when Austin put his hands on Karmelo and was rocking him back and forth, the knife came up. Y'all, that's physics. That's just physics. Yes. You mentioned you have done many knives. Okay, he's just doing damage right now. Okay, you mentioned that you have done many knife cases, and I know you have because you work in Dallas. Yes. Okay. There was this multiple wound scenario, like maybe there was only one knife wound, and that's not as bad as multiple knife wounds. Do you remember the lining of question? Yes. It only takes one, doesn't it? Yes. And one like this just simply isn't survivable. That is correct. Correct. Now, Les, one thing counsel didn't touch on, and I think I forgot about it when I talked to you the first time. All of these knife cases you have done in your career, can you explain to the members of the jury what a defensive wound is? A defensive wound is typically on the hands or the forearm, and most of them are incisions, which mean they are longer on the surface of the skin and don't penetrate as deeply. But typically, they are on the person who is defending himself because their hands are up, and the person who is attacking them is making incisions on their hands or forearms as they were trying to protect themselves. That's because of the natural human reaction. If you see the knife coming, is to put your hands up, right? Correct. Did you find any defensive knife wounds on Austin Metcalf? No. It could be he just didn't see it coming, right? Which also supports Mr. Wilkie's description under the tent. Yes. Mr. Wilkie, I pass the witness. The court, Mr. Shook. Mr. Shook says, one moment, judge, re-cross-examination. Okay, they going back and forth right here. Mr. Shook, you get asked these questions every murder trial by prosecution and defense attorneys about it could be consistent with or that it could be consistent with that. Do you not? She says yes. Okay, prosecutors ask you those questions, right? Yes. And defense attorneys ask you those questions, right? She says yes. And your answer is still the same. That could be one scenario. It could be many. She says yes. Okay. I never asked you. Hold on. I told you that the prosecution did a 40 and slip. Mr. Shook just came back and slapped the prosecution. I said, did the prosecution know he just did a 40 and slip? Because I thought the defense brought up the impalement theory of the medical examiner. No, the prosecution brought up the impalement. Let's see what Mr. Shook said. Okay, he said, I never asked you if Austin Metcalf impaled himself with a knife, did I? She blankly says, no. Mr. Shook says, that's all I have, judge. The court says, okay, thank you, Mr. Shook. Mr. Wilkie said, nothing further from the doctor. Is this excused by the state? No objection from the state and the defense? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, doctor, you are free to leave. Thank you. Oh, hold on. I think Mr. Wilkie, not Mr. Wilkie, I think Mr. Shook at that time also, I think he actually got in his role and Mr. Wilkie actually got in his role and must have forgot about the gentleman's agreement because he was about to win this case. He even came back in that motion and he said, doctor, did I even bring up the impalement? What he said? Hold on. What exactly did he say? I don't want to mess this up. He said, okay, I never asked you if Austin Metcalf impaled himself with the knife, did I? She says no. And Shook says, that's all I have, Judge. Mr. Shook got into, I got his defense, what he should have been doing all the whole time. Even at that moment, his ego and his title actually tried to reveal itself as a defense attorney. But I'm pretty sure after this, I'm pretty sure it was some shouting matches after this one, after court was over. Because I'm pretty sure Bill Whiskey called Mr. Shook and said, how did you almost messed up this case. But you know what Mr. Shook said? He said, well, fool, you was the one that brought up what actually happened under the tent that Austin Metcalf impaled him. Fool, I didn't bring up that Austin impaled himself. You did. Boy, I'm pretty sure they got mad at each other, was having drinks, and I bet Bill was like, God dang, I did bring up the impalement theory. The medical examiner didn't, and even the defense didn't. The prosecution is the one that brought up the impalement theory. Oh my God. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. I'm going to go to the comments. Let me go to the comments. I'm still going to say, look at God. Shook, even in this moment, he forgot about the gentleman's agreement, and he was actually working for Karmelo for it. I'm going to at least accept for what I read when he cross-examined the medical examiner. And he did say, hey, I'm not the one that, did I bring up the fact, did I never asked you if Austin Metcalf impaled himself with that knife? Prosecutor, you did. Let's keep going. I'm gonna go to the comments. 2 hours. I'm gonna go to the comments. Y'all. I gotta go to the comments. Listen. I gotta go to the comment. What's up, buddy? Whew. Y'all, hold on. I gotta get some water, y'all. Hold on. Whoa. I gotta get some water. One second. Let me go get this bottle of water and I'm coming back. Hold on. Whew. Let's see here. Listen, what do y'all think about this? It actually was the prosecution that brought up the impalement theory, y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh, what? Y'all, wait. Oh, what? Oh, let me go to the comments, y'all. Oh, we got to go to the comments. This is the third night in a row, and oh my gosh. What did we just have here? Mr. Shook actually was describing what happened under the tent. Oh, let me go back to it. Oh, Mr. Shook, you almost did your job. But see, he caught himself. That's why he asked that question. Well, medical examiner, why did you rule this as a homicide instead of accident? Y'all, oh my gosh. Let me find it. I want to read that. Then we go to the comments. Let me go to the comments. Oh my God. Let me do this right here. Oh my God. This was good. Oh, this was good. Jane. Oh, Jane Duggar. Wherever you are, court subscriber reporter. Oh my God. Jane, you captured that? You actually captured that one pretty good. I could feel the pressure in the courtroom. No wonder Mr. Shook had to switch out, and the prosecution had to say re-cross-examination. Mr. Shook did some damage when he started explaining everything. Ooh. Mr. Shook actually explained what happened under the tent. Here you go. Hold on, I ain't even opened my water yet. I know you get asked questions like this a lot by lawyers, but would it be consistent if the victim was standing over the defendant? If they were seated, let's say, on the bleachers in the stadium, okay, just in a seated position, and if the victim had come over in an attempt to remove him from the bench, throw him off the bench, whatever, grab that person or push that person or grab that person from the front to the back, shove him back, and that person was holding a knife between their legs in a bag, right with their right hand. Hold on. So that means Karmelo Anthony is not left-handed. How would a right hand, and y'all, I'm going back to it. So he said Karmelo Anthony was holding that with their right hand. Nope. I just got my answer. Karmelo Anthony is right-handed. That wound was made by a left hand. Mike Howard, now I got to go through all of these different attachments now because Mike Howard brought up 2 wounds. Karmelo Anthony is right hand. How can a right hand twist like that? If Austin is coming down on him, how can the right hand twist like that? Somebody else did that. Nope. There's another wound. There is another right here. When not whiskey. Hold on. I don't want to sign in. Hold on. No. I don't even know what. Definitely don't want to close the hole, y'all. Hold on. Let me close this real quick. Oh, so many accidents. Let me go ahead and pull this up while I get the screen right here. Y'all go ahead and look at this wound right here. Y'all look at this. So this was actually the diagram, the 2D diagram. This is the 2D diagram that the medical examiner put in the state exhibit. Hold on. Let me get this right here. Let me get this right. What are you doing? Let's see here. Let's see. I want to open back up that document. Hold on. Let me open back up that document right here. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Let me share my screen. No, they didn't. Here we go. Let's see here. Here we go. Look. In just a seated position, and if the victim had come over and attempt to remove him from the bench or throw him off the bench or whatever, grab that person or push that person or grab that person from the front to the back, shove him back, and that person was holding the weapon between their legs in the bag in their right hand, and they shove him back, the knife came out, and if that person went over the person, put the knife up, could cause that type of injury. What she said, it can cause the angle going front to the back. She said that, and if the victim was over him in the angle that way, so it was straight on. The victim was over. Hold on. She almost answered something. Yo, she almost answered it too. The victim was over the, I'm sorry. See, so many people was playing in this case. The victim was over the body, or listen, so many people was playing. Question, yeah, the victim was over the body, Karmelo Anthony body, and the defendant was sitting down, and if they reached it and grabbed him, forcibly pushed him back, pulled him up, could that cause the knife? If the defendant stuck the knife out? Her answer is, from the medical examiner, her answer was yes. And I rest my case. Let me go to the comments. Buddy. That's what I said. Austin bent over Karmelo at best. He poked Austin in the abdominal, hit him in the belly fat, and not the deadly woman my pee. Listen, we already seen Mike Howard's. Listen, I don't know. I didn't know to go to volume 8. Matter of fact, y'all was right here when Nikki came in the room and said that the transcripts were released, and you know I had to go find them. And about all of the ones, I could have started from 4, but I started from number 8, and not knowing number 8 would be perfectly for the first setup for a night like this. We went over the defendant's closing arguments, then we went over the prosecution arguments, and I even gave the prosecution a higher score than Mike Howard's closing arguments, because the prosecution actually proved that Karmelo Anthony did do it in self-defense, and he don't even know that. And then now the medical examiner, once again, it was the prosecution that did more damage with the medical examiner than the defense. Oh my God, listen. Bill Whiskey, even with the medical examiner, you did more than You did more damage than the defense did. At least Mr. Shook caught himself and tried to clean it up. But you was the one that brought up the impalement, not the defense. Oh, y'all, we got told so much. Hold on. A transcript's all part of the conspiracy. Come on with it. Use a fact. Joshua Redman actually helped Austin that day and saw his abdominal wound. I see. That's what I'm saying. And y'all, let me tell you one thing. And I agree with you, Cindy, to a point, because they're telling us some Jews, but this is partial. These are partial. And Jane, let me tell you one thing. Jane Duggar, the court subscriber, she must have been under pressure. She's supposed to have took a lot more of this out. She was under the pressure to get this out and get it out quick. And she left so many nuggets in here. We don't need the full thing. We already see what happened under the tent. Even the defense. Oh man, come on with it. So transcripts are part of the conspiracy. Yeah, because it ain't telling everything, but it's telling enough. Like, ooh, we know what happened under the tent. Oh my gosh. Oh, and see, where's the part? But that's why it's called a partial transcript. They're not even talking about the second week, but Mike Howard did. And right, and so get this now. So I'm sitting down, because even the prosecution said he was sitting down. The defense attorney said he was sitting down. And if you rocking like this, and the knife came up, even when you jacked me up, the knife came up in the abdominal, not the chest, in the abdominal. Because if Karmelo Anthony would have came up in the chest, everybody would have saw that. Eddie would have saw that. Even Eddie didn't say that he saw Karmelo Anthony did it. That's why the knife was low. Right there in the abdominal. What we talking about? We still talking about that somebody came over the shoulder of Austin and bam, even with the left hand came over the shoulder. We got another wound out here, y'all, in the abdominal. Because even if Austin had him rocking him back and forth like this, and he's leaning him back over the bleacher, right? The knife didn't come up. If he had him by the neck or the shoulders, Karmelo Anthony's arms could not get up high enough to even hit him in the chest. That means that the knife was still low in the abdominal. Somebody still got up and hit Austin in the chest. Once again, where did the chest wound come from? It didn't come from Karmelo. It did not come from Karmelo, especially if Austin had him like this. How did the knife get up in the chest at that angle? In the stomach, yes. The thighs, yes. Knees, legs, arms, and yes. But not the chest. Oh my gosh, y'all. Let me keep going. Oh, they did work together. Come on with it. Bunny feel the same way, and the chest came. I just said that. And the chest came from somebody else. Come on with it. This is what they're hiding the video. Yes. I remember now. They were calling it a puncture wound at first. You're right. Not a stab wound, completely different. Y'all, come on with it. Yes, and hiding the actual full picture of the poker wound. Yes, the kids throwing stuff in the trash can, the real suspects. Come on with it. Karmelo would have did a better job of defending himself. Facts. In court, facts. Yes, front to the back. Yes, Austin fell forward to the front of the first bleachers, right in front of the white dude. A green shirt. He was sitting on the bleachers when Austin fell in front of him. He jumps up and continued. Oh man. Yes, calling Austin the victim is kind of, I'm thinking front to the back could be starting from one point and ending another point from left to right. Let's see here. Hokey, okay. Continue leaps on top of Austin and stabs Austin and, oh, hold on, I missed something. What's this? Oh. Yes, front to back, and Austin fell forward to the front of the first bleachers, right in front of the white dude. Oh, I see what you're saying. Leaps on top of Austin and stabs him. Ooh-wee! Listen. Whoa. Okay. And now, when the truth mentioned, watch how they explain it away. Oh, this got to be good. You're right. We're going to be right here. Tony Talks, Vested Up, Compelling Sports Edge. Go ahead and get your notes, your drink, and your bath. We ain't stopping, y'all. Day 64, we ain't stopping. Yes. Suppose he had a Leatherman, not a knife. Right. Now, a Leatherman does have a little blade on it, but it's definitely not the knife they showing us. This right here. This is not a Leatherman, y'all. So that's what I'm saying. That's why they did not introduce this particular weapon in court, because it's not the one that Karmelo Anthony had. It was a Leatherman. Facts. You know what? 2C144 all up and down the white streets concerning both these cases mean God put his stamp on these two happenings. Come on with it. Come on. What is the purpose of standing your ground on? Come on. They did terrible. Instead of sticking with what Karmelo told them actually happened, they kept throwing out hypotheticals. Could this have happened? I think so. And we definitely don't know what Karmelo Anthony said. But the reason why I went into depth like this is because the people that saw the actual crystal clear video, do y'all remember? Many people say he failed. They said Austin failed on the weapon. Even who they call, who they saying, that older white lady in the parking lot, she said he failed on it. She said, I saw it clear as day. He failed on it. Hold on, let me see if I can find that right there. Let me see if I can find that right there. She said he failed on it. She said he failed on it. She said, oh my gosh, he failed on it. Oh Lord, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see here. White lady, white older lady, Austin failed on, let's see here. Let's see, what did she say?
Well, it wasn't enough. It was a tool that they tighten up the. You don't want to sit down?
Oh.
Yes. But anyhow, that's what I'm here for, and I was hoping.
Right. We're probably going to do all our single job.
They said, and we got another hour. What's your name?
Thank you so much. And sir, thank you so much. Very much so. We thank you all for standing and just.
Thank you. Okay, so it was.
It's like a little tool like it's not a screwdriver. You're allowed to have that tool as a track athlete to tighten up the cleats. I'm gonna say failed on it. But if we're being completely honest, before guys like wailing on you.
Ooh. Oh, hold on. Whoa. Hold on. I want to share this one. Hold on. Let me share this one. Let's see here. This came out to, I just did a random check. It was on who is this? Okay. Let's see here. It was Lakeisha Keisha, white lady. Let me see. When did she publish this video? On June the 15th. Hold on, y'all. Y'all remember this white lady? She said this. White lady in the court states. Let me pull this up. Let me share my screen. And Karmelo Anthony is innocent. Austin fell on the knife. Let me see if I can pull up that video and I share my screen. We'll watch it together, y'all. Here we go. Here it is, y'all. And let me share the audio. Here we go.
Well, it wasn't a knife.
What was it?
It was a tool that they tighten up their track cleats with.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, so he never bought a knife.
Yeah.
So that came out in the courtroom yesterday. That
It never was a knife.
You don't want to sit down?
Richard, can I have my wallet?
yes.
Let me just cut
It helps you with
Yeah, because I don't want you to fall.
Well, I'm not gonna fall. I'm standing. I'm not gonna fall. I'm not moving. I've got my legs on.
She say my legs still.
Say my legs
okay.
work fine.
My legs are, well, they don't, but
Sir, thank you so much. Very much so. We thank y'all for standing and just.
he's not.
Thank you.
And, okay, so it was the cleat, and he had that in his hand.
Yeah, the tool is like a little tool like this, like a screwdriver.
So he was innocent
Completely, because you're allowed to have that tool as a track athlete to tighten up your cleats.
Yeah.
Okay, and he had it in his hand, and the other kid fell on mine. I did too, but
Well, I could say fell on it, but if we're being completely honest, with four guys like wailing on you,
Four people.
and they're overpowering, you know.
I saw him. I saw him.
No.
Oh, you want it.
You tell
I saw the other kid trip.
You the one
And that's why I said he was innocent.
Innocent. Gotcha.
That's why I've always said he was innocent.
That even she said Karmelo Anthony was
the
innocent.
Footage, from the footage that you saw, was Austin Metcalf actually falling on the object. Now, at what point of the video, like how long into the video before he actually fell on it?
He went over there to confront him.
Exactly.
He pulled out that thing to protect himself, and the other kid, the white kid,
Do you mind if I record?
I don't care, but I don't want to be on TV or anything.
No.
Yeah, we don't trust the news media.
Yeah, so I
But
But y'all heard enough of what that lady said. Y'all heard enough of what that lady said. And this was immediately after the court, while they were still in court. So even though Keisha posted it on the 15th, June the 15th, she was outside of the courtroom talking about this while the court was still in session. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it. I guess they thought they had proved reasonable doubt. Could be. Yeah, he impaled himself on a knife. Yep. This is how the lady saw the crystal clear video that Austin failed on the knife. I think this was the video. This was the video that I just played. Thank you so much, Rashida Davis. She described it just how Shook presented it. Come on with it, y'all. But I don't think Karmelo actually stabbed anyone on purpose. I think Hunter did so. Also facts. Jesus, come on with it. Woo! Come on with it. Well, it was a defensive job to eject and fight for all of the pre-trial phase. That is true, user. I agree with you. Right? They have it on the books to use against us, user. Come on. And don't forget to beat him in the face before Alton was hit. That's right. AM unallowed himself. Come on with it. The law is nothing but one big double standard. You wait till next week. All right. Here we go, Vestas. Hold one, Vestas. Hold one. You know I'm on travel. Hold one. All right, let's see here. Let me go back to the comments. Hopefully, I have not lost all the comments. Oh, Lord, I hope I haven't lost all the comments. Just stay with me. Okay, I stopped that. Oh, gosh, they're gone, y'all. The other comments are gone. God. So anybody before 9:53, all those comments are gone. God, sorry, y'all. Good Lord, all those comments are gone. If it said Tiffany Biggins got a clear copy of the video, when Drew Anthony didn't know there was a video, gave it to Mike Howard and told him to hold it. Follow this case from day one. That is great. That is true, Cindy. This is the trial that just happened, right? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Frank. Yes, it is. Rashida exactly some kind of sick retirement gift to himself. Railroad one more black man before he got off the bench. And guess what? No more in pub. He thought he's about to leave out as a celebrity. He's about to be the infamous judge. That railroad Karmelo Anthony, he's about to face criminal charges also. Once this thing started going down, he would go down in history as being one of the most corrupted criminal judges against Karmelo Anthony, civil rights, constitutional rights. He's about to be famous for the wrong thing. That's basically what I'm saying. Free Karmelo. I know they would have just had to charge the other kids because maybe they all tried to fight Karmelo Anthony. Multiple assailants doctrine. Come on with it. Man, I lost all of those comments. Come on. Who knows? Tiffany Biggins is a snake too. She had a hand in getting to this trial. She misguided the family, allegedly. For the last time, is this finding for the trial that just passed? Yes, it is. Yes. Yes, Frank. Karmelo original trial. Yes. Tony is on it. Bought it. Come on, Mary. Pocket Mike Howard as an attorney should have gotten that discovery and subpoena right. And thank you so much for all of the love. Lip QV. Thank you. Did the medical examiner view the video? No, she didn't. Nope. And if she did, she played along like she did. If she did, she played along like she did, right? Let me go back to the comments. Okay, Tiffany is a snake. I'm saying that, I'm saying what she said. Who is to say true or not? She's reading the full transcript they finally released. I'm going to say this is a partial because I still don't see nothing about the 2 wounds. But Mike Howard, in closing statements, he talked about 2 wounds. And I think in this potential partial transcript, allegedly Jane Duggar left it out or she didn't include it. Here we go. Hello. This is good. Tony Karmelo's team is going to have a field day with this case right here. Yes. I'm pretty sure the medical examiner saw the video. Right. But I guess it's only in the movies. Ooh, come on, who, me? Mary, thanks. And damn, why the defense let the evidence go? The secret gentleman's agreement. Come on with it. Against, regardless, the defense's job to get these evidence. We know why, Frank. The verdict hurt bad, even without Karmelo testifying like he planned to do. There was not proven case of murder. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. These are not all the transcripts. Nope. Tonight, I just read volume 6. That's all I read. And for everybody that want to go down, let me pull up the Collins County website. I'm going to do it for you like I did the other last. You go to State versus Karmelo Anthony, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is. And you can go down and get all of the partial transcripts they have released. Now, some volumes are over 300 pages. Some volumes are 200 pages. The volume 8 is only 900. I'm gonna say 95 pages, but we don't see volume 1, 2, 3, and 9. But let me show you where to go get the files. Here we go. So you're just going to type in state of Texas versus Karmelo Anthony. It'll bring you up to this website. If you want to type in this link, www.collinscountytextx.gov, And then I'm pretty sure you still got to search for Karmelo Anthony, but the much simplest thing is to go to Google and do state of Texas versus Karmelo Anthony. Stroll down, and here's the transcripts that I'm reading from. And then you see it says redacted, 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 redacted. But all the information that I've been reading for the last 72 hours, even still coming from the redacted, and there's still enough information to make everybody go pause. What just happened? So we got 4, 5 tonight. I ran from volume 6, 7, and 8. 8 is Mike Howard's closing arguments and also the prosecution's closing arguments. This is about 300 something page. This is about 200 something pages. This is about 200 something pages. I can't remember about this, and this is 95 pages. But baby, if you put the pieces together, in number 8, in this particular session right here, in this particular, let me show you one thing here. So I hope y'all got that information. I give you 5 seconds. State of Texas versus Karmelo Anthony. Download all the transcripts. Download all the transcripts. And also, hold on, while we still here. Now, those exhibits, let me go ahead. They got it photos. They got the audios. This is the videos. Exhibit 4 is Judge Roach, full 18-minute video. And Exhibit 9 is one person's own video regarding them trying to get into the courthouse on one particular morning, but all of the media personnel was breaking line and getting in line first. But I want to open this right here. Hold on. Let me go in and stop sharing my screen for a second. I don't want to release any personal information, but let me see. Let me try to Let me try to open this real quick. Is it gonna let me? Oh, here we go, y'all. Let me open it back up. Matter of fact, did I download it? One second. I want to go over to 80. I want to go over 80. Hold on. Copy. Let me see here. Matter of fact, let me go and do this right here. Photos. And also the photos are there too. Let me share this real quick. I want to go see what's in the 80s. All right. Here go to state. Don't say you did it again. Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is all of the. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna come back to the comments. Let me get through this real fast. Let me see here. So these are all of. So it's still 58. So it seemed like these are the same photos that they presented to the jury, right? So because we got the area of shot, we got this shot. We got this shot. This is some pictures. This is Karmelo Anthony. Let me see if I can rotate them. Okay, some pictures, those shots. Let me get down to the 80s. They go to bleachers. Okay, here's the text from the coach between the coach and Austin. We went through those. Be a leader. This is from the side. Okay, aerial shot. They go to infamous weapon. I still don't see a flashlight. This is how close Liberty was to Memorial. How close? The distance between Memorial and Liberty. There's the blue tarp covering the knife. There's Karmelo Anthony Bookbag that the cops didn't know that was Karmelo Anthony Bookbag. Let's keep going. Now, I don't know whose gear this is. It doesn't say, but it is definitely has some DNA on it. They go a shoe. They go to Bookbag and the tarp. The blue tarp, which is actually Karmelo Anthony Bookbag, which they didn't know about. Let's keep going. We already seen this right here. And for some reason, on this particular weapon right here, there is not a picture of the knife flipped over on the side. That's why a lot of people say it has an M on it in it, on the other side of it. See, once again, they even covered the bottom part of the handle. Why is that? But we shall see. This right here is 3.5, so it does in length matches the weapon according to them that Karmelo Anthony had, but by this time we don't know what is what. This is that. Memorial. Yeah, it was coming out. It was coming out. Disclosure could be sensitive. These are all the articles that Karmelo Anthony had in his book bag. Wow, it showed, look, a clean jacket except for a smudge right here. Karmelo Anthony did have a little smudge on his finger, and I think he got that from when he fell, but that's all it was, y'all, a smudge. A smudge. A smudge. Clean shoulders, clean hoodies, clean front view, clean, except for this little red right here. Now, do you see Karmelo's Anthony clothes? Do you see Austin's? Totally different, right? Even if Austin, well, they can say Tony talks messed it up. Well, his DNA, and it was pouring out from underneath his jacket. Some still should have landed on Karmelo's Anthony shoes or pants or anything. Nothing. That little smidge, y'all, do y'all see that? That's a smidge. And they still didn't tell us if that was Austin's DNA. They still didn't tell us if this was Austin's DNA or not. Clean. Look at that. See that little pidget? That matches the pidget. His own blood on his own shirt. Let's see here, right here. Oh, this is it, y'all. Warning. And now we know that this is the actual womb, right? Medical terms. This is for educational purposes only, medical terms. And y'all remember we went over this number 25-01590. So this actually matches. So this is 81. This is actually 81, 25-01590. So this is what the medical examiner was talking about with going over analysis, a criminal evidence analysis. This is what we're going on for educational purposes only. Let's see here. So he brought up 81. So where is 80? They took out 80, y'all. They go 84. That shows nothing. 85. All of this right here is touched up editing to the face. Let's not forget about that. Okay, this is 87. Here we go, y'all. Let me turn this right here. There it is. Here it is. Look at that angle, y'all. How did he, if he was right-handed, think about it now. If he was right-handed, how could he get it right here? Unless I'm looking at it wrong, but how did he get it right here if he was right-handed? I can see it if he was left-handed, but Karmelo Anthony is not left-handed. But maybe I'm looking at it the opposite way. But not to me. You got to explain something to me. And that's it. They go 90. That's it. 90, 87, 85, 94, 91. That's it, y'all. That's it. So we did get to go over that. Okay. They just released for free. They released it for free now to manipulate things right before the... I think so too. See, because normally these transcripts, guess how much the original asking price for the transcripts was? $2,500. $2,500 to get these transcripts of the full trial transcript. No, partial. They even said it was partial for $2,500. But you're right. So this is even a sign that they know that Karmelo Anthony is about to get granted a new trial, even in the public, the interest of public trust. He would get a new trial. And hey, but guess what? They can release it. The jury is still will be charged with the same instructions. The jury still has to do they due diligence and their job. So release it all you want to. At least now people can read the truth for themselves. And even say, this is reasonable doubt. They didn't prove nothing that Karmelo Anthony did. The court subscriber got fired for leaking Karmelo parents' address too. I think that was a different person, Rosetta. I think she was a different person. I think that was a different person. The last punch we saw in the video long after Karmelo was out from under the tents looks like the same height. Right. You are so right. Who me? Yes, right. Free Karmelo. Exactly. But Karmelo would have had blood on him even if I said the same thing. Where's the blood? I said the same thing. Where's the blood? But yep, instead of investigation, they just labeled one kid. Right. They took the lazy way out. No investigation. They just said, oh, he did it. Put it on the black kid. Put it on the black kid. Oh, Pat Fallon's son was under the tent. Put it on the black kid. We don't even want no scrutiny. Put it on the black kid. Oh, hold on. It was 2 hits. It was 2 wounds. Oh my gosh. What we gonna do? You know what? Put it on the black kid. I will orchestrate this thing out the way it needs to go. So all of us is clear. But they forgot about that God still reigns and sit on high. They forgot that God was still alive. Plus, he was healing from a shoulder surgery. So thank you. But hey, thank you, user. Come on with it. He should have had on, bro. That's what I say. Where's the blood? Where's the blood? Karmelo couldn't have done the poke in the chest. Right. That have been his. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on. The first stab came from Eddie. Eddie was right on the side of Austin before he fell for it on the white dude. Come on with it. How we see this and the jury couldn't see this. All 12 people couldn't see this. Free Karmelo. They didn't even question nothing. 30 minutes. 30 minutes, y'all. That included walking to the deliberation room and walking back from the deliberation room. 30 minutes. Okay. Eddie. Yes. I definitely believe the people who saw the crystal clear video, ISD video. Yes. And where's that video? Why they didn't give that to the jury? You supposed to, the Brady disclosure. Where is the crystal clear video? Oh, this is about to be good, y'all. Yes, that's what she said. I remember correctly. So Howard did not believe in his client. I don't know what they had on Howard. Because I heard before the secret meeting agreement, he was going in there charging like a bull. He was going to get Karmelo Anthony out. And what they said to him in that meeting, I don't know what they had on Howard. I don't know what they had on Howard. But Howard turned his whole entire strategy to the left and to the right. Howard said, I'm folding. I'm folding. I'm going to take the money and I'm going to fold. What volume is this? This is volume 6. The volume is 6. Hold on. That's crazy. Where are the 2 wounds? Mike Howard brought up 2 wounds. And that's why I like to share the screen. So nobody don't say that I'm just making things up. I need to find out where the 2 wounds, but thank you, Mike Howard. So Jane Duggar, she probably removed that, redacted that from the transcripts that they released to the public. But she didn't look at Mike Howard's closing statements when he mentioned 2 wounds. That's why they got rid of Austin's body so fast. They didn't want no evidence of the 2 wounds. Come on with it. Can't hear it clearly. Can't. Okay. Howard never sound confident. He never spoke of Karmelo's innocent. He always started the fence. Look at the evidence, then decide if he's. Eddie the Judas did the poking in the chest. He failed. User, hello, Tony Talks. What's going on? Mods and chats watching on TV. Come on with it. Yes, when the shift happened at the top, Karmelo popped out the top. There was still an altercation going on. If you watch the figures very closely, that is true. That is so true. Cindy Lawrence Pokemon. If you find the grainy video, Austin got pushed from both sides and then fell on the ground. Even the grainy video shows him falling right away. That didn't happen. Listen, the way that Austin failed, it's like somebody hit him. And it's like instantly he dropped like a bowling ball and he split those students when he fall. Oh my gosh. If y'all and they claim she was crazy and like who y'all talking about? What woman y'all talking about? They didn't want to show the public the clear video, subpoena everybody who saw the clear video facts. You can see the first. Yes, I definitely believe her. Who is her? Oh, the white lady. Okay, I got you. User, can you do something with yourself? What don't happen? But people who watched the Chris Cook video say Austin still took few steps to chase Karmelo with others and then fell down. He didn't know he was Pope. User facts. Okay, y'all in here fussing. Why y'all fussing? Cindy, he said the video was edited. You can see the arm reach out and connect with the people the altercation is happening with. What is yours? Dissecting everybody coming. Everybody relax. We're family. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. Okay. Everybody relax. Yes, ma'am. I played multiple videos and played each movie bit by bit, which is why I truly believe white shirt dude did the most damage the second and went back and forth moving. Listen, they was getting it under that tent. They was getting it under that tent when Karmelo Anthony left. Karmelo will be a billionaire. Sue everybody and books release his life behind bars. Free Karmelo Anthony. Free him, Jesus. Amen. Yes, the elderly lady told the truth. You can clearly see the dude lounge into Austin. And we saw it. Oh, listen, they went at Austin. That's why I'm saying somebody. Okay, thank you, Justine. Yes, thank you, Justine. I need to call downstairs to find out what's going on. Somebody, when Karmelo Anthony, before he, somebody went at Austin with all force. Whoo, for real. Karmelo actually became collateral damage. Right, next day ahead, Tony investors. Bright next days ahead, Tony investors. Come on with it. I'll be sending many Facebook to you. Thank you. Collateral damage. Yes, white green t-shirt dude found the perfect opportunity to get revenge on Austin for embarrassing his sister at the fast food restaurant. Listen, that's what I thought so too. That somebody already had a grudge against Austin and Austin didn't know it. It was a friend-foe type of thing. And when he saw the opportunity to get Austin while his back was turned or he was already focused on Karmelo, somebody said this is the perfect opportunity. That's why the weapon got passed off. That's why Eddie changed clothes right in front of everybody. That's why you see the FB and the cheerleader having conversations right after that. Yes, come on with it, baby girl. Free Karmelo. His sister pacing back and forth on the bleachers on the other side of the tent constantly the whole time. Hey, Tony Talks Vested Up at gmail.com. Send me that video again, please. It's been so many weeks. It's been 64 days. Send me that video again or that link again, please, baby girl. Please. Two separate knives. It doesn't look the same. Come on with it. Karmelo Anthony team has subpoenaed the media guy. I did hear that, Bay Powell. Yes, the media guy has been subpoenaed to appear on the 19th of the 20th. That is true. How you doing, Jay? Pray for the Metcalf family. Pray for the Karmelo Anthony family. I say pray for both families because the Metcalf family, they didn't realize that their son's bullying and aggression and attitude and racism was going to catch up with them one day. And I hate that Austin did not have time on this earth to realize his errors and realize, I almost said something. I'm glad I caught myself. I almost said something. We're praying for the Karmelo Anthony family because based off these transcripts, everybody knew that Karmelo Anthony acted in self-defense. That's who we're going to pray for, the Anthony family. Karmelo Anthony, him and his family. Hunter, better be ready to take the stand in this time. Facts. Come on with it. Come on. Austin did not have on a jacket when he and his brother walked in. They had on t-shirts and shirts and brothers. Well, that was the state's exhibit unless he put on something underneath that tent. Don't know. Hard. Get a life demon. Get a life demon. Come on with it. Free Karmelo. It is so many lies that will be exposed. Karmelo, God got you, and you have an army behind you. Yes, free Karmelo Anthony until it backfired. Come on with it. No evidence, but the Roach did the interview saying that the evidence, I'm glad you brought this, proof Karmelo committed a crime. Judge said we'll recuse the Roach. Right. What evidence? Now, last night the prosecution only said he had 3 evidence. It was the distorted video, but he called it the video, the witness testimony, and then he said, because I had to review it this morning, he said the other evidence he had was Karmelo Anthony's own actions and words. When I said that actually went in Karmelo Anthony's favor. If it was premeditated M-word, Karmelo Anthony would have left the whole entire scenes. Forget a book bag. Forget a book bag. Why would I bring a book bag with all my DNA, my sweat, my fingerprints, my everything on it to a premeditated encounter? What? I'm trying to tell you. But who? Her name was Melanie something. She was a clerk, but she wasn't the court reporter. I think she was, her name was Melanie something. Collins County. Y'all, we've been on this thing for 65 days. Going into 65 days, y'all, we've been on this thing. Everybody take a bow. Everybody take a bow. Everybody take a bow. We've been on this thing 65 days in the next 2 hours. 65 days. Fire. Okay, here you go. It says the Collins County court clerk got fired for leaking information to the right-wing journalist Sarah Fields, who just let Metcalf go on a racist rant on X. What her name was, Melanie something. Melanie Schaefer or something. It didn't put a name out there, but she wasn't Jane Duggar. She wasn't Jane Duggar, the one that had wrote up these transcripts. Let's see here. Hey, let's see here. This was a setup, but God. Come on with it. The twins had no control either. Years of bullying and arrest for racist graffiti. Self-control. Come on with it. Amen, Tony. Amen. Amen. Hello, family. Free Karmelo. Free Karmelo. Yes, Cindy. Jay Goofy. Who attacked who? Karmelo remained seated. Y'all, people just come in here and say nothing. Even the prosecution said that Karmelo Anthony was sitting still, sitting down the whole entire time. But people, they only come in here and try to distract. They don't even listen to the stuff. Right, Tony? When you're viewing an image from right to left, turn it on your chest and then see it. Yeah. Karmelo would have to teach from right to left, difficult for his position. Facts. Oh, get it. Ready, 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 get ready, get ready, get ready. Free Karmelo. Let's see here. Sir, you have issues. I don't know if you've been diagnosed with anything, but you have issues. See, y'all may think that I be joking with y'all when I say that at night, because the freaks come out at night for real. When I have the most craziest comments under my videos at nights between, let's say 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, y'all. When I wake up, these people, these fools be under my videos in trolls, just pausing in the chats. And I have to stay very active with the chats. And they know that next week is next week. And they know that Judge Roach is about to recuse. And they know that Karmelo Anthony is about to get a new trial. And they know they don't want people to understand the full effect of what happened in Collins County. And they still coming over here on day 64, going into day 65, still messing with people that's talking about the injustice that Karmelo Anthony received and experienced as an American. And they know it. Look at this right here. The amount of people who invoke the Lord while judging others to justify their own hate is diabolical. Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Let's see, Karmelo Anthony. And one thing about my lives here, you have to subscribe. So he or she took out the time to actually hit subscribe just to put their comments in here, y'all. This is diabolical. You cannot. Karmelo lunged and stabbed he didn't, y'all, don't tell him nothing. He didn't even read the transcripts. He didn't even see what the prosecution even inferred with the impalement theory. This person Let them do their own homework, y'all. Amen, Tony. And God said, justice for Karmelo. Look at you. But it doesn't work here. You don't railroad people and expect to get away with it. Let's see the unredacted video, just like the first set of people saw. Come on with it. They crazy, man. Facts. Stay tuned. This will be a pleasure to witness the freeing of Karmelo Anthony. You came back with that, Miss Scott, right there. Stay tuned. This will be a pleasure to witness the freeing of Karmelo Anthony. Oh, y'all hitting back. No KK meeting tonight to attend. Oh, nah. They say, no turning point meetings, no turning points, virtual meetings, no turning points, dog whale meetings, no turning points, nothing. Let's go see what Tony Talks and the Vestas talking about tonight. Boy, they crazy. You know, the weight and size and strength are also considered weapons against somebody half your size. Yes, educate yourself. Facts. Listen. These people crazy. Karmelo, God is on the side of truth. Right. Why are you so invested in this case? Go to your people's page. We are for Karmelo over here. Facts. Jay, if Karmelo is where he's belong, why are you here trying to... Thank you, Mel. What's up, Miss Mel? Exactly. Why they come over here and mess with us? Do y'all remember when they called us crazy? Y'all remember when they came over here and said that we was full of conspiracies and we didn't know what we was talking about? Well, we got the transcripts. Well, first of all, we already had what God had given us. Since they don't like me invoking God, they didn't understand that God has given us a gift of discernment where something just don't feel right, and of intelligence and wisdom, a gift that a lot of people don't have. And now when it comes out with these transcripts, when it comes out with Mike Howard's own affidavit within 30 days of Karmelo Anthony being wrongfully convicted, 30 days, his own defense attorney, and Jay, if you didn't know this, did you know that Mike Howard, within 30 days after finding Karmelo Anthony, assisted in Karmelo Anthony's own wrongful conviction, Mike Howard, the lead defense attorney, came out with his own 30-paragraph affidavit basically describing the gentleman's agreement where the judge, the prosecution, and the defense himself, they agreed to railroad Karmelo Anthony in that trial. But you say nothing about that, right? You say nothing about that. You say nothing about that. But I know why you don't. Well, what's up, Mel? Karmelo will be on Counties County on August 19th to recruit John Roach. That's why you're mad. Facts. And also on the 20th. Amen. Free Karmelo. I enjoyed the conversation. Check them out. And they call us the delusional. But we got documentation. We got evidence to back up what we saying. We got partial transcripts, even by Jane Duggar, Collins County Court reporter. But he says nothing about that. We even read over Mike Howard's entire affidavit, but he says nothing about that. And they call us delusional. Go get it. Over here on those pages, because he knows the blacks bring all the season. Listen, don't be surprised. Jay actually could be black. We had y'all remember all the black content curators that was saying that Karmelo Anthony was guilty, and they didn't even consider none of this. Where are those black podcasters now? We was like, what? They said he guilty. Oh, he guilty. He did it. Where are those black podcasters now? So, that's why I knew that it was something deeper, because at one particular time we had more white podcasters actually trying to be objective and supporting Karmelo Anthony than some of our biggest black content creators. I knew something right then wasn't clean in the water. Hey, but when you getting paid by a certain size, and let me stop right there. But when you got donors and supporters on certain channels, you better put out the narrative they want you to put out, especially when cases like this. I am my own woman. This is my channel. Nobody controls my content. Hint, hint. I report on what I want to report on. And if God leads me down this path, I'm going down this path. Since they don't like me invoking God. What? People crazy. Why did your judge, prosecution, and Karmelo Anthony lawyer went behind his back? I just said this and made the gentleman's agreement. Why did you redact the video and show the jury instead of the clear one? Come on, they'll never talk about it. 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 That's right. Well said, Miss Mel. Let me tell you one thing. Can I tell y'all something? Okay, I got a small crowd tonight. Y'all, imagine these crowds that's coming in next week. Oh my gosh. Ooh, once Judge Rose get removed, y'all be on standby because, baby, them trolls and more people like Jay. Oh, Mars. Oh, Mars. It's going to be a fight up in here next week. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're going to be fighting to the left and the right. Oh, screaming Karmelo Anthony. Free Karmelo. Free Karmelo. Man, it's going to go, man. But God. His teammate told the police Austin got aggressive with the Mellow kid, just like he got with some of the football players, right? But they ignore that. Sunshine, yes, like somebody helped Karmelo and took that fall of it. Hold on, Karmelo, we're exposing all the lies piece by piece. Piece by piece. In order, divine order, piece by piece. Mike Howard's closing arguments, prosecution closing argument, and now the medical examiner, which actually the prosecution. Let's put the comments. Free Karmelo, free Karmelo, free Karmelo. Yeah, the prosecution said Austin impaled himself right there in the partial transcript. Hold on, let me pull this back up. Well, I'm gonna go through this. Only got a few more comments. Let me go ahead and pull this back up, y'all. They don't know, y'all. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. These people don't know nothing. Hold on, gosh. Impale. Hold on, y'all. Let me find this word. Impale. I'm gonna throw him a bone. Here you go. Here you go. Let me share this right here. I'm gonna throw him a bone. Impaled himself. Impaled himself. Impaled himself. Let's keep reading. Why Jay and all the Jay and other, where Austin Metcalf virtually impaled himself on Karmelo Anthony knife. Oh, whew. I gotta get some water, y'all. Somebody stabbed Austin from behind and jumped over his back. That's what I said. They came across the back and hit him like that. Come on with it. But I wanna, like Bunny said, I gotta turn it to make sure I'm demonstrating it right. But I think I am. Karmelo Anthony is right-handed. Even the prosecution of the defendant, Mr. Shook, say he right-handed. Austin didn't push. Hunter pushed and was pushed back into Austin, and he stabbed him. Come on with it. Hey, Mario. Hey, Mario. I said the same. Hey, Mario. I said, wouldn't it be ironic if Hunter is the one that actually helped in his brother's demise? Because he said it was an accident. Let's not forget what Hunter said. Hunter said it was an accident. Hunter said it was an accident. Hold on. Hunter said it was an accident, y'all. And I'm trying to let y'all go, but the comments are getting too good, y'all. Oh, the comments are getting too good. Hunter said it was an accident. Hold on. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Hunter, what you said? Let me go ahead. I got to delete one video. Hold on. Hunter, what you said, Hunter? Hunter said it was an accident. Hunter said it was an accident. Here you go. Let's see here. Is this it? Is it too big? Hold on. It's too big to go right there. Here we go. Well, Hunter, what you said, Hunter? Upload.
It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just Basically one person.
Were you guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. It's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to."
So yes, what you're seeing, I'm repeating it in the video that I made. So it's almost
move. He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just
Hunter, I understand why it was hard for you to say, come clean and say you accidentally hit your brother with one of them, with the other one, because I'm still believing that Karmelo Anthony, he probably did poke him, but he poked him in the abdominal. And I still trying to find the testimony where Mike Howard, he said in his closing arguments, it was 2 wounds. Now we know Jane Douglas, she didn't include that. She already said it's a partial redacted. So we even got proof that even these transcripts are redacted, but it's enough to say, oh my gosh, this is the proof all we need here. Hunter, all you had to do was say, man, yeah, I know we tried to get Karmelo, but we know you couldn't say that. You know that you cannot say or tell everybody that the plan was to get Karmelo Anthony or just to do something stupid that day or just to bully somebody, not knowing he had been under the tent all the other times when your brother was suspended for fighting and for racist graffiti or whatever. Hunter. Also said the family member was called. Also said a family member called Bill Whiskey and told him, "We know y'all railroad Karmelo." And he said it was Judge Roach calling the shot. Ow! Ooh! This about to be good. The jacket was used to keep the blood from the. Now. Okay, so I saw the other comment about the jacket, and I was thinking that too, but the blood. Well, I guess they could have, but still, the size of the jacket was a 3T, and these were some big boys. That's why I always believed that it was one of the twins' jackets. Was he wearing it at that time? I don't know, but it was a big boy jacket. It was 3T. That was the first time I saw that. I said, oh, Lord, these boys were bigger than Karmelo Anthony. Forget the troll, trying to distract us. Yeah, we don't forget about him. That's why Austin blood on the inside of the jacket, keeping his blood from getting all over the. Okay, yep. Look at the size of the dude with the arm around Eddie on the field picture. Send me that video. That's the dude jacket. You bully, you gonna get you. You gonna get you like he did Austin. He bullied, but was the one God took out. Do you want that? How are you gonna put God on Karmelo? How are you going to put God on Karmelo, folks? How are you going to put God on Karmelo? Do they understand how God really works? We can't make God do anything. Do you see the questions? How are you going to put God on Karmelo, folks? And Lisa, I maybe I'm misreading it wrong, so I'm not gonna. But I don't understand. So I'm just gonna. That's why dude didn't have any blood. of every little blood to whereas no one has have seen the blood and got suspicious. Trolls be putting God on us while judging also. Okay, I got what you. Okay. They will say the system is rigged. Come on with it. When the retrial is granted, we all will hear the facts from the beginning to the end, and all the witnesses get put on the stand and picked apart to pieces. And guess what? The defense attorney, the defense team, the first thing they will go get, they'll get that paper. You said in the first trial, X, Y, and Z. Please explain. Oh my gosh. We got your bag, Tony. We got the truth shilling us. Come on with it. Free Karmelo. Love you, Tony. Investors, great live facts to be known. Corrections exposed. Free Karmelo. Come on. Still listening? Finding that for you. Watch for your email. Gotcha. Good night, y'all. I'm finna let y'all go. Good night. Free Karmelo. And just know next Thursday, we'll be getting some good updates, okay? So I talk to you then. All right, investors. Tony is out. Let's not forget Karmelo Anthony doing these days. Let's not forget this young man. Systematic racism, systematic legal injustices is real. Just like all of these drownings. Let's not forget the other ones. Here we go. Even what he knowing, even though what he does know, and what he will know, he still said it with his chest. Defends the prosecution handling of the case. That is a form of white supremacy that is false and fake. This is a concept. This is not real. This is why we're going to continue to push back. This is a concept that is only in America, that is threaded within the fabric of America. That is not real. The only reason that white supremacy think that they have the power is because they think that the black community and the other minorities will not push back. And I can't speak for them, but we're definitely going to speak for the black community. We are definitely pushing back on this false concept of white supremacy, which is now that we see that it is woven. Forget about underground. It's not even underground no more. This is out in our face. Black America. This is out in our face, Black America. Basically, they're telling us it is what it is. They're using our own phrases against us. Black America, what you gonna do about it? Oh, Black America. It's been 46 days. 46 days, and you mean to tell me that is only a handful of us that's still speaking on Karmelo Anthony? And he's still alive. Now, information. You already know how I feel about the Nolan Weld case. I don't go in circles. But I am going to bring to you, because I feel like if I can divvy up my segments and at least talk about a small segment about the case that I feel spiritually that I'm allowed to speak about, which is the concrete evidence of this case regarding the forensics, the medical evidence, the medical examiner, all of this information right here, because as of right now, we already know regarding Nolan Wells, we don't know what we don't know. That's for sure. Once again, we don't know what we don't know, and that's for sure. That's one thing we do know about this case, but it's something else.